Oh, cool. It is there. Awesome. We love to see it. We love when things just work out the way they're supposed to. I never play on full screen on anything, so I'm like... I don't know why. This is the stupidest thing. Maybe other people relate, but when I play on full screen, I feel like I'm trapped. like, I have two monitors, which reduces it a little bit, but I feel like if I play on full screen for one thing, I just feel like I'm stuck in the game for no reason. I don't know. It's stupid. I've always felt that way, and I don't get it. Like, when I would play... This is very revealing of my character, but I really love, like, Wizard 101, and when I would play it as a kid, I would always have, like, YouTube up on a tab or something because I didn't feel like I was just in the game, and I would always play it on windowed mode. I don't know what that means. Psychologists, study me. Figure out what's going on, because that's not normal. I fucking love Wizard 101 until it gave you a computer virus. Huh? It gave you a computer virus? Criminal. It's on Steam now, so that is one less thing you have to worry about if you ever feel like you want to get back into it. I've been listening to this music for like 10 minutes. It's really good. I just need to turn it down for on my end but please let me know if it sounds good where you are. I'm super excited. I'm wondering if I need to move this over a bit. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Probably shouldn't fuck with it. It could be turned down a little bit. Okay. We could do that. Let's have it at a nice... There. Let's have it at a nice... There. I'm excited, but also I will be sweating. Do not sweat. It is going to be okay. I play indie games. I'm an indie dev developer. Lord of Lies is still broken in places, and I have to watch people play that and trust and believe. Like, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fine. I've been excited. It already feels super relaxing. I'm like... I have to like pump myself up a lot for the other streams. It's just like, oh gosh, I gotta play this, and I gotta, you know, go through pain and do all this other stuff. So it's nice where I'm just like, no, we're just gonna chill. Now, I know that there is like obviously some violence and some other things that I saw in like the description or whatever, but I'm assuming nothing that happens could ever be hold a candle to some of the horrors we face. So I'm feeling a lot better. I put my back out this morning. And I'm trying to find a comfy position. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That sucks so much ass. If it makes you, well, I don't know if this would make you feel better, but it's like I also have like back pain and shit. But that's normal. I'm just old. Nothing as bad as no tongues. No tongues at all? No tongue kissing? All right, time to turn this off. I'm joking. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm going in completely blind. I have not read the page, really. Like, I haven't read what the plot's about. I love to go in as blind as possible because I just want to be completely, I don't know, gobsmacked by whatever. I have no predictions, I have no nothing. So, I'm in it. Maybe a little tongue kissing. just a little. Alright, let's start and let me shut up. Oh god, fuck, I didn't think of a character at all. I never play as myself, so I'm gonna have to come up with an OC on the spot. Okay. Let me think. I think I want to be non-binary because I wasn't able to do that with Hustle Cat because I kept misgendering Avery. So I'm definitely gonna be they, them this time, and I'm probably gonna play a character that is built from the ground up right now as what is a good non-binary name. I'll think of something. I like flowers, so maybe something flower related. Let's do fuck, okay, I can think. I'm really thinking. That's because the Hustle Cat FC is so he is, that's what it is, and my character is not, because I have some control over this. So, you know what? Iris is their name. I like the name Iris. It's Lawrence's mother's name as well. Even though she wasn't non-binary, but you know, I like Iris. Iris is strong. We're gonna be they, them. I wanna go in Chapter 1, Maple Rest. What a great name. I like that there was a lot of maple related stuff. Like, I felt very fall coded when loaded in, and I really like it. And it's continuing. The story begins along Champion's Way, a winding road through the forest. All types of travelers make their way along the trail, most heading for the grand city of Heartcliff. Trees dot the landscape in every shade of orange and gold. A cool wind picks up and rustles the leaves, causing one to flutter down and join the ever-growing piles that coat the forest floor. Oh. And the music change is very pleasant too, very full and Canadian coded. Hey, maybe that's why it feels so like nice and lovely, is that it's just Canadian and nothing Canadian could ever be. Yeah, and the maple syrup, I didn't even put that together. I love it. I glanced back to the road behind us, and I've been traveling with my companions for the past few weeks, going wherever the wind takes us. A signpost on the side of the road directs to Maple Rest, a little town that Champion's Way passes through. Traveling has been long and weary, and we've been in need of gold and a place to rest, aren't we all? I don't mind sleeping in the woods. It'll be nice to sleep in a bed. Yeah, nah, fuck the woods. I want to sleep in a tent. I'm a bougie bitch. Iris is bougie. It will be nice to stay in a tavern for once. It should be safer than out in the woods. Fucking woods. Unless a thief breaks in and robs us. Already. It's a second in. The sassy man apocalypse has already taken over. You really think they're gonna be thieves in this town? Well, we're coming to town. Oh, okay. Speak for yourself. Well, I'm gonna have to do voices as well, just so when I listen back, I'm like, is that just the same person talking? Fallen leaves crunch beneath our feet as we walk. Am I good at voices? Hell no. Am I still gonna do them? Mm-hmm. Okay. Elveril is his name, right? I think that's close. Do the voices, that's the best part. Trails his hand along low-hanging branches. Okay, cool. The leaves come free and swirl around him before settling on the ground. He plucks one and it blooms from green to orange to deep red and flutters from his hand. Okay, a man after my own heart. The charm hanging on his belt, the symbol of his goddess, Thefine, glows faintly. Zaneri takes the lead, keeping a keen eye. If I pronounce anything wrong, just tell me and I'll fix it. But Zaneri takes the lead, keeping a keen eye out in the woods around us. Her axe may be sheathed, but she's never unprepared for a fight, obviously. Look at her. She stops for a moment, taking a deep breath. She looks up at the beam of sunlight filtering in through the trees. In the distance, there's a raven's caw. Aura, I'm pretty sure. I almost called it Oral because I have a character whose name is Oral, and it's spelled so close to it. Aura's trailing behind, entertaining themselves on this monotonous walk by kicking up leaves and making gusts of wind to blow them around. I think back on the last few weeks of traveling with my companions. We've run into a lot of danger and teamed up when we realized there is safety in numbers. Oh, these backgrounds are so charming. The cozy town of Maple Rest comes into our view. Little wooden houses surrounded by large gardens dot the town, and all the townsfolk are going about their day. We draw a few curious eyes as we come into the town, but I figured they've seen all sorts with how many travelers pass through the road. It's a quiet town. The only thing notable enough to catch my eye is a wooden notice board in the center of town. Maybe there will be work for us there? We could use the gold. Iris is just gonna have my voice because it's not going. That thought is enough to draw us to it. The board has a few pieces of parchment, some curled up at the corners. As we approach, a large raven perches on the top and peers down at us. It only stays a moment before taking off again. We could collect herbs in the woods for this lady. He's just gonna have a lighter voice. Oh, and look, she'll give a whole gold piece for our trouble. Yeah, he's just gonna be sassy. Zaneri yanks down a fly. We could escort the merchant to Heartcliff. He needs a bodyguard. Do you really want to be responsible for someone like that? If we run into trouble along the road, he won't be able to defend himself. He wouldn't need to if he were there. I could carry him. Okay, please do. The whole way there? She shrugs, looking sure of herself. I could do it. Then he'd be safe. I don't doubt that, actually. But that seems like a lot of trouble. There's got to be something else. I search the notice board and see a leaflet with yesterday's date. Someone complaining about strange noises coming from a nearby abandoned dungeon. What about that one? Elvery brushes her fingertips against the parchment. I bet it's an animal that made it a home. I don't want to fight a bear or anything. They're too cute. Oh, before I can think too hard about the supposed cuteness of bears, there's a man who approaches the board. Sorry, this guy's just gonna have no voice. Sorry, just need to get through. We all step aside as he pins up a piece of parchment to the board. He pauses before securing it, glancing between us. I see him eyeing up Zaneri's axe. You wouldn't happen to be adventurers now, would you? I mean, it'd be odd otherwise. I can feel the eyes of my fellow party members on me, waiting for me to speak up. We are indeed. Are you in need of an adventuring party? I try and get a glimpse of what's on the parchment he brought, but he lets out a sigh and holds the paper close to his chest. Okay, dude is sus. I am, unfortunately. My name is Francis Fishman. I thought his name was just gonna be Francis Fisherman. I was like, gee, I wonder what his name, what his occupation is. No, Fishman, your last name. I admit, I've never had much cause to speak with adventurers before, even with all of them traveling through town. What exactly do you guys do? He looks between the four of us, seemingly trying to size us up. I wait for a moment for any of the others to introduce themselves, but they all stay quiet, looking towards me again. Damn, they're just like, Iris, take it all over. Hey, Butter, how are you? We're playing Travelers and Tales. We're traveling and we're telling. I hate the title of this stream. I couldn't think of anything clever. Music is lovely. My voice is... Okay, well, I'm Iris, and I'm a bard. Oh, so you sing songs and play an instrument and all that. Yet that is what a bard is, yeah. I shift. The scimitars in their scabbards hanging at my waist brush against my legs. Sort of, I play... Oh, are we lying? No, okay. Oh gosh. Pan flute reminds me of Peter Pan. The lute reminds me of... nothing. You know what? Pan flute it is! I can play the Can you see how uncultured I am? It's insane. I love music, but I don't know anything about it. We're Peter Pan. I could play the pan flute very well. But I'm best with my blades, and I've been studying magic. So don't fuck with me. In other words, I look towards my companions, saying if they want to speak up now. They still seem to be imploring me to be their voice. We stand a guy who can play these instruments. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! This is Zaneri. She's incredibly strong, a real force of nature in battle, and she has very keen eyes, and also she's very easy on the eyes. She nods at him, and he nods meekly back. Perhaps he's intimidated by her towering presence, as he should be. This is Aura. He's a bitch. No, just... They're quick on their feet, and can slip in and out of the shot. Oh, I'm sorry. Their pronouns are they, them. I apologize. They flash him with a grin. That's just cynical enough to make him pause. He offers a weary smile in return. And this is Elvaril. He's our healer. He has a lot of experience in nature-based magic. Elvaril gives him a friendly wave, and Francis waves awkwardly, a little confused. He's like, I have no idea what's going on. Aura's bitch, for sure. I love that. I think that's a great quality that any character can have. Right, well, that seems like an adventuring party to me. Like, what would you know, though, Francis? So, why do you need our help? I recall him saying that it is unfortunate, and that does not put me at ease. Francis lets out a long sigh, his shoulders sagging. It's my wife, Charlotte. She's been missing. Last time I saw her was 3 days ago, and I haven't heard from her since. Please, I need someone to help me look for her. I'm so worried about her. If only Charles were here. Just joking. Do you think she's in some sort of trouble? I know her. She wouldn't have left without saying goodbye. He looks crestfallen, and Zaneri takes a step forward. She places a large hand on his shoulder. God, I wish that were me. We will find her, if she's able to be found. If only Charles was there. Aura sidles up next to her and interjects, for a price. We are adventurers for hire, after all. Francis nods. Of course, I'm more than willing to pay for your help. Aura's in the Witcher phase. Because, like, I love that part of The Witcher where Geralt will just refuse to do any job unless he's paid for it. It's also Arthur Morgan as well. There's a lot of protagonists that are like that. I think that's very funny. I can offer you 80 gold for your trouble. We share a look. We haven't seen that amount of gold before. You have yourself a deal. Hell yeah. Yeah, exactly. Toss a gold to your Witcher. He looks relieved, tension lessening in his shoulders. Thank you. I'm very lucky you guys came around when you did. He looks down at the flyer in his hand. I suppose I don't really need this anymore. You might want to hang it up anyway, just in case we can't find her. Aura nudges him. We will definitely find her. Aw. We'll definitely try. Francis looks between the two of them, nodding unsurely. I step in and bring his attention back to me. Anyway, what can you tell us about Charlotte? She has pale skin, brown hair, and gray eyes. She's shorter than me, and she's always had the warmest smile. How long have you been married? Around 10 years. I've always been happy, and I'd like to believe she has too. That's cute. Have you noticed anything different about her? Any change in her regular behavior? Well, she's been a little distant in the past month. We had a group of bandits come in and raid the town last month. It was horrible. Charlotte tried to fight them off, but she was powerless. Damn, go Charlotte! We're not people like you. We're not meant to be fighting like that. Bandits? Have they been back since? He shakes his head. They made off with some gold and many of our crops, which is terrible timing with winter coming. But Charlotte has been out of sorts ever since then. She's been waking up with terrible nightmares. Oh. Is she close with anyone in town, or who might have seen her leave? He thinks for a moment. Well, she's friendly with Thistle. They own the bakery. There's the barkeeper Oswald at the local tavern. He hears stories from travelers who come in from the road. Oh, and there's Jalen. She's one of the local guards who patrols the area. Maybe she's seen something? We'll check it out for you. I am very grateful. Next time we meet, I hope we'll have news about your wife. Or that we will have your wife. That would be a relief. I hope for that too. With a tip of his head, he walks off. Well, this is one way to make gold. Oh, so much fun. We get to find a woman who's run off from her marriage. I don't know what she'd be running from. He seems like a decent man. Maybe she just got lost in the woods? It can be really confusing for people who don't know what to look for. Yes, I'm sure she's lost in the woods and not halfway to Heartcliff, like, with another man. You can ask your bird friends to help locate her. I could also speak with the local animals if you think she's in the woods. Aura glances at me out of the corner of their eye. Why can all of our friends talk to animals? I don't know. I feel left out. I never learned that trick when I was in the circus, in a thieves guild, a mercenary. Ooh, okay, the character building. I'm really bad at character building, but I'm gonna go off vibes. Okay. Iris in the circle. Mercenary work seems fun. Like, I'm just trying to imagine a bard in the mercenary, like, in a mercenary group. I also almost wrote a story with the main character who was in a mercenary group. Using the local animals. So cute. I know. I hope we talk to a squirrel. I travel too many places and met many people. Seen a lot of animals, but they're usually short on gold to pay me, so we don't interact much. Fair. There was a crow near my home growing up that brought me things he found. Oh, yeah, crows are the most reliable creatures to get money from. He bought me a gold coin once. Next time a crow needs a hired blade, I'll be sure to ask him his going rate. But anyway, I guess we should start an investigation. Do you think she left willingly? As opposed to what, being taken? He didn't mention a fight at all. So she just left? I guess our question is, why would she leave? Oh, I'm just doing my scenery voice. He mentioned she was distant lately. We should check in with people in town to see if they know anything about her. My gaze falls to the woods and to the road beyond. The trees sway in the wind, but that's not all I see. There's something shifting behind the trunks. I only catch a glimpse of red before it's gone. I figured it's just the leaves blowing around and turn my attention back to Maple Rest. That's definitely not that. Francis mentioned a baker, a barkeeper, and a guard in town. Any of them might know some more information. Who should we talk to? The barkeeper would hear what people are saying when they visit the tavern. If anyone saw anything on the road, he might know. But the guard patrols the area. She might have seen something instead of just hearing about it. Well, she and the baker are friends. We could know more about her and the town if we talk to them. I like that you have the 3 options and then your 3 companions who take like a preference to one of the options. I think that's very clever. And he might be nice to visit a bakery. That's fair. I mean, one of those has the promise of food, so I think I know where we're going. Why am I always the tiebreaker? Because you're the main character, Iris. If you think of a 4th option, we can draw straws for it. Fine, let's talk to... Hello. I hope that I didn't miss too much. Not really. We just entered the town. We're Maple Rest. We're Iris. We're they, them. And we are a bard who is also a mercenary. I'm like going off of pure vibes. And we're gonna go talk to the baker. So, let's talk to our friend the baker. Lead the way. We'll be right behind you. There's a movement in the sky, and the raven lands on the notice board again and watches us leave. We make our way through the quiet town of Maple Rest, heading towards the bakery. The finest flower. Oh, that's so nice. A hand-painted sign above the door welcomes us. The finest flower. I push the door open and there's a tinkle of a bell. The smell of freshly baked goods fills the air and I can feel the warmth from the oven. We don't wait too long before a curly head of hair peeks over the counter, followed by a friendly face. Oh, hi, Thistle. Hey there. How can I help you? I can feel the eyes of companions on me, waiting for me to speak up. They're always just like, talk for us, please. We do not know how to interact with human beings, please. Are you Thistle? That I am. Has someone recommended me? Sort of. Francis Fishman sent us here, asking about Charlotte. They look down, drumming their fingers on the counter. Oh, right. He came around yesterday, asking if I've seen her. He was talking about putting a sign up on the notice board, hoping to attract the attention of some adventurers passing through who might help. Guess it worked, so how can I help? Iris is the only one in the party with a positive charisma score. I'm screaming. That's such a good, organic way of getting your main character to do all the talking without it just being like the other characters being aware that your main character is the character by proxy. Like, we wanted to know how you know Charlotte. Francis said you were friends. Well, she'd come in every week or so to buy bread. We could catch up. But her and Francis kept to themselves. Can you think of any reason she might want to leave? Thistle shakes their head. No idea. As far as I know, she isn't the type to just get up and leave without saying goodbye. Her and Francis always seemed happy, too. She never complained about him, at least. Has she been acting differently at all? Any noticeable change in behavior? Well, I know Charlotte was very shaken up about those awful bandits raided the town, but that was over a month ago. Thistle thinks for a moment, tilting their head to the side in thought. She went over to Philine's house. She's the old lady who lives in the corner. Charlotte doesn't often visit people, so I suppose that was something new. That's helpful. Thank you. Of course, anything to help. Do you guys want anything before you leave? Hell yeah! Elvery perks up, paying attention for the first time since entering the shop. Oh my gosh, tall. Or Thistle's just really short. What do you have? They show off some of their baked goods, and he buys a full box of bread rolls made with honey. Oh! I say goodbye to Thistle and lead the party out of the shop. Or sidles up next to Elvery. Elveril. How long have I been calling him Elvery? That's our cute little name for him, but his name is Elveril. Examining the box. I thought we were all low on funds. It's my gold, and that was an important purchase. Hell yeah! Do you want one? Aw, you know I do. Zeneri? She looks for a moment like she's going to refuse, but she smiles. I can't say no to you. Oh, okay. I might just ship these two. Just try to stop me. That sounds delicious. Honey bread roll. Hell yeah, it does. Holding out the box. Do you want one, Iris? Of course! Again, this isn't an option. What? Sure, I'll have one. He offers me the... Oh, unless you want to be really nice and then let him have more of the rolls. But, you know, whatever. He offers me the box so I can reach in and take one. It tastes of sweet honey, and it's warm on a cool autumn day. Thank you, Elveril. He brightens. Of course, I bought them to share. Oh, at least characters are very shippable. I love that. We head away from the squeaky chair. We head away from the bakery and towards the house in the corner where Charlotte has supposedly been visiting. The town is small, so the walk isn't far. The house is the last stop of the row of the houses in town. It looks more like a little rickety. They're so nice. Gray said that it was like Canadian coded, like the whole atmosphere of this game, which I think is very funny. This must be her house. Zeneri stops and looks at me. Should we head straight in, or should we check out the area first? Did you have something in mind? She studies the house intently. I have a way to survey the house with us needing to get close. Aura steps up confidently. I can sneak around and check what's inside without getting caught. No problem. I would also help. I have some detection spells I can use, so we know what we're dealing with in there. All eyes fall on me once again. You want me to choose who goes up there? They look at me as though that's obvious. I let out a sigh. Okay then. We're gonna send Aura. He seemed very confident. They seem very confident. Aura, can you go take a look? They make it over to the house before I can blink. Even though I keep my eye trained on them, it's hard to focus. The shadows grow darker wherever they step, shrouding them from sight. They scale the house and peer in the window. When they return, they don't look happy. I couldn't see very well, but there was something weird. Magically weird. Could feel it prickling. Magic was unexpected in a small town like Maple Rest. Let's be careful, okay? We approach the front door and two ravens land on the fence in the door. Okay, this is like bad omens. Like anytime there's like a certain number of ravens, isn't that supposed to like be a message of some sort? Or am I crazy? I feel like I've heard that before. Or is that crows? I don't know. They peer at us in a strange way that sets me on edge. Lots of ravens in this town. One of them tilts its head at me as if it knew what I said. Okay, it's listening to us. I step up to the door and knock for a long moment. There's no response. Then there's scuffling behind the door. Just a minute. I hear the lock being fiddled with. The door swings open, I think, for a moment, and that there's no one there. I look down and see an old gnomish woman staring up at me. Who are you? What do you want? I'm just gonna do an old lady voice. Are you Feline? Who's asking? I'm Iris, and these are my companions. I was wondering if you had a moment to talk. We have some questions about Charlotte, Fishman. Behind us, the ravens take off into the sky. Feline gives me a long, hard look. Are those, like, your watchdogs or something? Fine, fine. Come inside. I don't even know where the voice came from. The inside of the house is warm and smells of old perfume. Oh, that sounds nice. Most of the furniture fits someone the size of a gnome, but she does have one couch that is reserved for guests. That's cute. We crowd uncomfortably tight on it, with Zaneri standing behind us, willing to give up her seat. Oh, tea? She comes into the room with a serving tray and several cups of tea, setting it on the table in front of us. Elveril takes one of the tiny cups, lightly blowing on the steam as it curls around his face. Thank you. Feline takes a seat across from us, looking each of us up and down. Well, a group of adventurers comes pounding at my door, asking about a missing woman? What exactly do you think I could do for you? We heard Charlotte had been visiting you before she left. Did you now? When was the last time you saw her? And why do you care? You're strangers to this town. We've been hired by her husband, Francis, to investigate. She gives me an acknowledging hum. Charlotte came by last week for tea. She was being neighborly. Zaneri catches my eye from where she stands, her brow furrowing. She gives me a subtle shake of her head. Well, we heard that Charlotte kept to herself, and that heading over here was out of the ordinary for her. Hello, Snacks! You get to hear my old lady voice very soon. Did she say anything while she was over there? That might give us the idea of where she went, or why she would leave? Also, this is Traveler Entailed by Gray, and I'm playing a bard who was also a mercenary named Iris, they or they, them, and we are the only person capable of talking to anybody, because our other companions have no charisma, no riz, none. Listen, I'm just an old lady. If I knew where Charlotte had gone to, if I thought she was in trouble, I would have told Francis myself. Just an old lady? I scan the room, taking it all in. There's one thing that catches my attention. The banner on the wall has a symbol of an old adventuring guild, one that was active over 100 years ago. I recognize it from my time working as a mercenary. Ooh, okay! We got special dialogue because of that. Nice! That's an interesting banner for an old lady to have. I gesture to it, but Feline doesn't turn to look. The Silverthorn Adventuring Guild. I've heard of them. They're practically a legend back in Heartcliff. I know back in the day, they employed a lot of mages. I also know there's a magical aura around your home. Those things wouldn't be related, would they? Oh, okay! Iris is so cool, hell yeah. She sits up straighter, meeting my gaze. This old lady retired a long time ago. We just might want information about Charlotte Fishman. Please, if you have anything that might be helpful, I'd love to hear it. That girl came to me asking about the Arcana. I'm the only mage in town, but that's not something I share readily. Why the secrecy? I like being retired in peace. A spark of magic dances between her fingertips, jolting erratically. I was born with it, or cursed with it. I never figured out which, but it's dangerous. I keep it under wraps to protect myself. I've made a good home here, and I'd like to keep it. I mean, fair. My adventuring days are done. What did Charlotte ask you about? She was determined to get answers. She asked me about where magic comes from. If you're not born with it, how do you learn it? Is it all through book learning, or could you draw power from another source? That's another reason to keep this private. I don't like questions. Fair. I glance at my companions at the revelation. And do you know why she wanted to learn about magic? Feline sets her teacup down. I'm sure by now you've heard that the bandit attacked last month. The town was practically defenseless against the raid. Oh, she wanted to learn magic to protect herself. Oh, that's nice. Why didn't you step in to protect your town? Zaneri steps up, fixing the woman with a stony look. Wait, Joy, when you said you're a bard, do you choose your class? No, your character is just automatically a bard, but you get to choose other things, like their pronouns and, start to fill out their background as you go. I'm assuming. But so far, that's what I know. My magic is unpredictable, and I'm years out of practice. I could have done more harm than good. If they had breached my house, well, that would be a different story. Zaneri just crosses her arms, looking agitated. Anyway, Charlotte was distressed by it. I believe she was exploring her options when she came to me. Did she say anything about leaving town? She shakes her head. Once she had the information she wanted from me, she left. And you didn't think to go to Francis with this information? I mean, that's actually a great question. She fixes me with a hard look. I told you, if I knew where she was, or if I thought she was in danger, I wouldn't have told him what he wanted to know. But he never thought to ask. It's just he didn't ask. I don't trust this old woman. He didn't think he might like to know that she was asking about magic? She obviously didn't tell him. Why should I? That's her business. There. She looks me up and down. Don't you think? Right. Thank you for your time. I get up and lead the party out. Feline stays in her chair, watching us as we leave. Glad to get fresh air again. I take in this new information. The sun is set, plunging the town into darkness. So, she was on the hunt to learn magic. She could have taken off to study at an academy in Heartcliff? You think she would leave without saying goodbye? Why would she do that? If she did go to the city, we might be able to catch up with her. She can't be too far along the road. Bard best class for real. Why would you choose to be anything but a bard, to be honest? Because I don't know how to have fun. That's the answer to that question. But do we want to follow her? They all turn to look at me. We don't know where she is. What if we can't find her? We'll be halfway to Heartcliff with even less gold than we started with. I know we told Francis that we could find her, but maybe she doesn't want to be found? He promised us 80 gold, though. True. I know. With no more leads on Charlotte's whereabouts from Feline, I feel at a loss. I know that my companions look to me for answers, but I have none to give them. Zaneri's attention has drifted from the conversation, her gaze focused on the edge of the woods. I heard something. There's something in the woods. I look at her quickly. What do you mean? It's probably an owl. Let's just head to the tavern, shall we? We can spend the nights there and talk about what we want to do in the morning. Zaneri is already walking to the tree line as they speak. Or we can head to the creepy sound in the woods. That sounds like a good idea, too. They swiftly follow after her. I'm following Zaneri. Alvaril glances back at me to make sure I'm coming before he follows as well. Oh. The edge of the forest looms in front of us. The only sound is the wind rustling in the leaves. What did you hear? Zaneri looks around, motioning for the party to be silent. Everything is still until they're shifting in the trees. 3 ravens are perched on the branches. Okay, I'm not crazy. There was 1 raven, and then there was 2 ravens, and now we're at 3 ravens. What are the ravens' end games? The branches peering down at us. What were you saying about the ravens earlier? That they keep... I just told you, Zaneri. They keep happening, and they keep increasing in numbers. They take off into the air, and there's a sudden bright flash of magic. They're having baby ravens, not them reproducing. In the instant, the ravens are transformed with a crackle of fiery magic and the smell of brimstone. 3 winged red creatures fly in their place, tails whipping out towards us. They're humanoid in form, but their horns and eyes are distinctly not. Zaneri throws herself in front of us, drawing her axe and trying to draw their ire. Imps. The spiked end of its tail lashes against her cheek. She winces in pain. Oh no! But braces herself against the attack. Also, music going hard. I'm hearing a heart under my floorboards. Ah! Aura reacts quickly, grabbing their quarterstaff with a showy spin. I told you we should have gone to the tavern instead. They charge up a nearby tree and use the momentum to launch off and bring their quarterstaff down on one of the imps. Their wild laughter fills the night air as they tackle the creature. I take a deep breath, reaching for the... I could not pronounce this word at my sides. As I do, there's the comforting sensation of Alvaril's magic around me, like the warm sun on my skin. Oh! I glance over at my shoulder at him, and he's positioned himself out of the way, focusing on keeping us protected. I rush into battles, blade singing. Side by side with Zaneri, there's a comfortable rhythm to how we fight. She knows my weaknesses and I know hers, and we know how to protect each other. Scimitars? Okay. Thank you. As Zaneri grabs my shoulders, pushing me out of the way as an imp dives down. Its claws outstretched. It rakes against her instead, and she wrenches it away. The winged creature zips out of reach for her gleaming axe. This writing is so good. Like, action scenes are so hard to do, so when people can do them, it's like 10 points. Aura walks on air as they fight, moving with a practiced grace and agility. The flourishes and spins with their quarterstaff seem excessive, but they still bring it down with the devastating cracks. They bat one imp directly to Zaneri's awaiting blade and flash her again. Alvaril's magic swirls around them both, guiding their strikes. I am locked in battle with another of the imps, a flurry of blades in the midst of the hellfire. Its tail whips out and wraps around my arm, and there's a sudden tug on my other one, as I'm grabbed by a second imp. Feet kicking in the air, they begin to pull me up by my arms. I struggle in their grasp, trying to break free, cast a spell, do anything. The imps have me in their hold and are dragging me deeper in the woods. Oh shit! Away from my companions. No! Iris! The warmth of the magic vanishes in an instant as it breaks in his panic. Oh, the tree surrounding me bends towards us, as if reaching for the imps. The branches twist and shoot forward to wrap around the ankles of my captors. Aura runs up the tree with ease, darting out on one of the outstretched branches. They swing their quarterstaff and bring it down hard on one of the imps. I use that distraction to wrench myself free. Let's go! As I begin to fall, I reach for one of the tree branches controlled by Alvaril's magic, but I can't quite make it. My palms are slick with sweat. heart lurching in my chest. I brace for impact. I'm not that high up, but I'm struggling to right myself. Instead of hitting the hard force floor, I land roughly in Zaneri's strong awaiting arms. Honestly, we ended up in the best place. Can you tell who my favorite is so far? I've got you. Hell yeah! She helps me to my feet and places a hand on my shoulder. Above us, Aura is fighting the last imp. They dance fearlessly across the thin branches, never afraid to fall. But the imp flies just out of their reach and turns the tail to flee. The branches go rigid again as Elvariel focuses his magic. It gathers around him, green energy swirling in his hands before blasting it towards the imp. It squawks and is knocked out of the sky, as it should. Aura jumps from the trees, landing with a twirl of their quarterstaff. The forest falls silent around us as we stare at the bodies of the creatures. Elvariel is the first to break the silence. Why are there monsters from the hells in these woods? It's the rest of the town safe? He gives us a panicked look, and Zaneri places a hand on his arm. She looks up and holds out her arm. There's a shimmer of magic as her spectral eagle, Echo, appears on her arm. It takes to the air, and her eyes go blank and they survey the area. We wait for her to finish in a tense silence. It's all clear. Echo lands back on her arm and vanishes again. Oh, goodbye, Echo. Aura pokes one of the imps with the end of their quarterstaff as if they expect it to leap up and attack one of us again. So what are these things? You said they're from the hells? What are they doing here? I have no idea. I stare down at the fiend, the memory of being lifted in the air and dragged away, making my stomach lurch. Yeah, Jesus. But I think this just became a much bigger problem. Is this connected to Charlotte Fishman? God, I hope not. I don't know anything for certain. No one in town mentioned fiendish activity, so if these creatures appeared recently, right after Charlotte left, and we're the ones asking questions about her, so we're the ones they attack? I look at the others and see my concern reflected back at me. Is everyone alright? We scan for injuries, but beyond some expected scrapes and bruises, we're alright. Only Zaneri has a fresh gash across her cheek. Time for us to bandage her up! Hey! Elvariel steps forward with concern, but she holds up a hand. I'm fine. Save your energy. I think we could all use some rest. Ah! He nods and glances down at the imps. Will there be more of them? She places a comforting hand on his shoulder. We'll be safe in the tavern, and I'll keep watch during the night. He looks relieved at her reassurances. Night is creeping into the woods, and the thought of being indoors and out of the dark is more than appealing. Palewood Inn, rooms and drink. Oh! The Palewood Inn awaits, and as we approach, I can hear this. You're so good at naming places. I'm so bad at naming any kind of, location or chapter or anything. I can hear the sound of or just naming. Just naming in general is difficult for me. Locals enjoying an evening meal and drink. We push in, and the warmth from the hearth fire is inviting compared to the chill of the night. I try to flag down the barkeeper to pay for some rooms for the party. He doesn't seem to like the interruption, but brightens at the sight of my coin purse. Fair enough. We find a table at the tavern, exhaustion creeping in. Purchasing food and drinks, we try to refocus after that battle. Looking up blearily, I see a man approaching our table. Evening, adventurers! I feel my heart sink in my chest. Feebly, I look to see if maybe one of my companions wants to take the lead on this conversation. Like usual, there are no volunteers. I sit up and try to look less tired than I feel. Mr. Fishman, I wish I had any news about Charlotte for you. His shoulders droop. I understand. I don't know what to tell him, with so few answers and so many more questions. We've been following some leads, trying to retrace her steps. I glance around the tavern, toying with the idea of telling him about the imps. I don't want to worry him, though, or put a potential target on his back. If the imps attack us, I don't want them coming after him as well. Are you sure Charlotte didn't say anything out of the ordinary before she left? He thinks quietly for a moment. Not really. She had been distant ever since the bandit raid. I tried to give her comfort, to tell her that we'll be safe, but I didn't know what to do. She would still wake up with nightmares. Were the nightmares about the bandits? He shrugs. She never told me, and she wouldn't come back to bed either. I consider telling him about her asking about magic. Feline's words ring in my head, and I keep that to myself for now. Any information helps. Let's hope that next time we meet, we'll have news about Charlotte. I appreciate that you guys are helping me. I just want to see her come back safely. She's my everything. Oh, he lets out a long breath. You all have a nice night. He walks off, leaving us to our food and our thoughts. Even though I'm exhausted, my mind starts racing. Pieces of all the information that we've gathered spin in front of my eyes. My train of thought is interrupted when Aura yawns dramatically. I think we've all had a long day. They shoot me a pointed look. So we should deal with the rest of this tomorrow. I nod, and with a scrape of our chairs against the wood floor, we say goodnight. Each of us head to our rooms. After a morning of traveling, an afternoon of investigation, and the sudden battle with the Imps, I feel relieved at the sight of a bed. Even if the room is cramped and the mattress is hard beneath me, it's better than another night camping in the woods. I prefer a proper bed to a bedroll any day. Thoughts of the day still swirl around in my head, trying to work out everything I've learned. I try to shake it off. There's time to focus on that tomorrow with the rest of the party. Before I settle into bed, I figure I have time to check in with one of my companions before bed. Hell yeah, we do. We always... I love that there's... in brackets, just in case we're just like, no, I just want to have a friendly chat. No. Oh gosh. Okay, let me save. I'm bad at making decisions. There's no way we're staying in bed. Hello, have you met me? I cross the hall to Zaneri's room and knock on the door. Iris, please come in. Hi! I definitely didn't come here to flirt with you, don't worry about it. I push the door open and see her carefully propping her axe up against the wall. Def not platonic, it's so clear. How did you know it was me? She shrugs. Elveril knocks like he's afraid of hurting the wood. Oh, that's such a cute little detail. Aura always does the same knock. She raps rhythmically on her bedside table. How do I knock? Like you really want in. She takes a seat on the bed and gestures for me to join her. As I do, I can feel the heat radiating off of her in this close proximity. I'm so used to sleeping under the stars, it's strange to look up and not see them there. I follow her gaze to the ceiling. There are no stars, but there is something that looks suspiciously like a burn mark. I figured I don't want to know. I'm glad we're in- What does that mean? I'm glad we're inside, though. I wouldn't want to be camping knowing there could be more imps around. She nods in understanding. I'm going to stay up and keep an eye out. You should get some rest and recover from today. My hands hover just over her cheek where a fresh oh, we're already making moves, okay. Where a fresh gash has been cut across her features. She takes it in her own and lowers it. I'll be alright. I want everyone to know they're safe. Look, we know! She glances at the door. It's also strange not to sleep with everyone. I know what she means, but I'm a child. Traveling the road like we do, it's become normal to sleep in close quarters in our campsite. There aren't any walls between us and the wilderness. I'm just across the hall. She rests her hands on my knee. I know. For that I am glad. I lean into her. Her company is comforting after a strange day in Maple Rest. I don't know what to make of all this. She takes my hands in both of her own. They are large and covered in many scars. You'll figure it out. You always do. I appreciate your faith in me. It's an easy thing to have. I'm being rizzed up. Okay. She rests her forehead against... I was literally fixing my hair. Like, you couldn't see it. One day I'm gonna get a webcam. But, like, I was actually fixing my hair just then. What psychological reaction is that, by the way? She rests her forehead against mine for a moment. I close my eyes and listen to her steady breathing. Yeah, this is not platonic at all. There's nothing platonic about this. I should let you rest. She lets go and I miss the warmth immediately. My door is open to you. Do not say that, Zaneri. I'll be right back. Let me just pack my things. I touch her arm lightly as I get to my feet and get a warm smile in return. I head back to my room and sleep finds me quickly. Only one of us. The next morning, we reconvene and find a table to eat breakfast together. This romantic tension, I know! Everyone sleep well? No one got attacked in the night by devilish creatures? Nah. Zanera nods, her mouth too full to respond. So, what are we gonna do? He glances at me, and he carefully removes the tomatoes from his plate and puts them on Zaneri's. Oh, me for real! I do not fuck with tomatoes, man. I really don't. Charlotte went missing 3 days ago now. We believe she left on her own volition, but that doesn't mean that something hasn't happened to her since then. She was in contact with the only mage in town, asking about the arcane right before she left. And there is some kind of fiendish activity in the town that sought us out at an attack after they watched us asking questions about her. I don't know what Charlotte has done, but I'm worried she's in over her head. Aura twirls their finger in steam from their teacup, and it swirls around them in a tiny tornado. If she wanted to learn about magic, she would head to Heartcliff. What if the imps attacked her? We don't even know if she's alive. I can ask the creatures in the forest if they've seen anything. I just hope she's okay. Their words become muffled as I drift out of the conversation, ruminating over everything we've learned. I know what we can't afford to be wrong about, where Charlotte has gone. What I keep coming back to is the imps. They must be connected to her leaving. Why would they be hanging around the town if she had left? Their behavior during the fight was strange, as I think back to being helpless in their grasp as they began to fly away with me. Iris has their thinking face on. Zaneri pokes their arm. Shh. Then let them think. I let out a breath. She has to be nearby. She's probably not in town, but somewhere close. When we were fighting, the imps weren't really trying to kill us. They grabbed me and tried to take me somewhere. But where could a group of imps be able to stay that's close enough to a town, but where they could stay out of sight? A memory springs into my head. Do you remember what it said on the notice board? The old lady that wanted us to gather herbs for her? I shake my head. No, there's strange noises coming out of the old dungeon. It was dated only a couple days ago, right after Charlotte went missing. If she's anywhere, she has to be there. The imps must be coming from there as well. Zaneri pushes her cleared plate aside. Then let's go. Let's go, yeah. It's a chilly morning as we leave the tavern and towards the woods. There's a layer of frost across the grass, and the trees look just a little more barren. A leaf begins its ascent to growing piles below. I shiver as cold wind blows past. Here, take my cloak. Okay. Before I have a chance to respond, she drapes her thick cloak over my shoulder. Her body heat lingers within, and it warms me up instantly. Thank you, but don't you want it? She places her hand on the center of my back, a smile tugging at her lips. I'm used to the cold. I'll be fine. I want you to have it. Leaves crunch beneath our boots. Can we wait just a moment? I wanted to ask the local wildlife if they saw anything. I halt to give him a nod. He smiles back gratefully. He takes a seat on the forest floor, the frost clearing before him. Zaneri begins to help, lending him her own magic to cast the spell. He takes his charm of Delphine off and holds it with both hands. Magic begins to swirl around him, green tendrils like freshly planted sprouts. They dive into the earth, into the trunks of the trees, into the piles of leaves. The colors take on the oranges and browns of the world around us. Magic swirls around Zaneri as well as she sits across from him, golden threads connecting them. Wow! I glance at Aura, who's watching them intently, the colors reflecting on their skin. Elvariel opens his eyes and they flash with magic. He holds out a hand and a tiny bird swoops down and lands on his finger. Hey, I was wondering if you could help us out. We're looking for a woman, Charlotte Fishman. She has pale skin and brown hair. Have you seen her in the last few days? His voice sounds like it usually does, soft-spoken, but there's an undercurrent to it that resonates with the forest. The bird tweets in what I assume is a response. Elvariel nods along. He speaks to it softly, watching as it chirps and ruffles its feathers. Aura nudges my arm, giving me an amused grin. Oh, Bop became an emoji. I didn't know that was a thing. He's so Disney princess coded. Yeah, he really is. Thank you so much. Make sure you're ready for winter, alright? The bird hops on his finger once. I love birds so much. Flying up and back into the trees. I've said this. People are dog and cat people. I'm a bird person. Like, if I could have any pet, and I don't want to have a bird because I feel like I'd be awful with them, and I don't know how to take care of them, but birds are so fucking cool. Like, they dance, they sing, they talk, they're just beautiful, and they're super cute, and they have so much personality, and birds are just dope as fuck. Like, and underrated in my opinion. Elvariel stands, brushing dirt from his pants. Zaneri helps him to his feet. What did it tell you? They saw her a couple days ago in the woods, but she wasn't traveling on the road. They didn't see any imps, but they noticed there were many more ravens than usual. Yeah, and I also noticed that. So they're here in disguise. I glance up at the trees, searching for any dark feathered birds that are watching us. Did it mention the dungeon at all? He shakes his head. They only saw her once, and haven't seen her since. I look deeper into the woods, towards our destination. If she wasn't headed for the road, then I feel better about our chances of finding her in the dungeon. The party follows as I lead them further into the woods. Ooh! The abandoned dungeon isn't far from the border of town. The crumbling stonework guides me into the front door. Zaneri crouches and examines the earth. There are footprints here, see? She points to a few places where the ground is soft and imprints mark the dirt. I examine the ruins and hear rustling in the trees behind us. My hands drift to scimitars as I try and see what made the noise. I don't know what I'm looking for. Imps, ravens, but I can't see anything. I let out a sigh, still feeling on edge. I turn my attention back to the door of the dungeon. I'm sure it's unlocked and not trapped and we'll be able to waltz right in. Aura grins before giving me a mock bow. Please, watch and learn. They crouch at the door, placing their hands on it. This isn't your average front door, but there is no lock I can't pick. They fiddle with a lockpick and I hear a distinct click. They swing the door open and take a long stride back. Something whizzes towards us, but they reach out a hand and pluck it effortlessly from the air, inches from their face. I was hoping for something a little more creative than a poison dart. They toss it aside. Shall we? So cool. With the door open and trap disabled, we make our way into the dungeon. The smell hits me immediately, rotting earth and decaying plant life. It's pitch black and I can barely see in front of me. Elveril, can you make a light? Wow! From behind me. I love that! Lights begin to shine and Elveril's charm grows brightly. 3 glowing orbs of light dance around us. Oh great, now everyone knows exactly where we are. Look, man, at least I can see. It's either this or fighting in the dark, yeah. That's what I'm best at. But it's not just you in this party, is it? They're quiet for once. Stays close behind me, I'll keep you safe. Okay! She steps in front, keeping a sharp eye out as we walk through the stone corridor. The smell of rot gets strong and Zaneri stops. She grabs the hilt of her axe, slowly unsheathing it. Oh god, the music. Following her. I was like, oh! Following her lead, I draw my scimitars, although I cannot see the danger. There's something shambling towards us, a mass crawling in the dark. The light catches it, and I see a mess of twigs and leaves and all manner of plant life. Whatever sentience it possesses has it aimed right at us in an aggressive manner. Why do I hear boss music? Yeah! Zaneri gets between us, and it, standing as a protective barrier. Elveril steps beside Zaneri. I can stay behind me. I don't want our healer getting hurt. He nods quickly and steps back. His hands bring together and Zaneri braces herself for the approaching creature. He stills, looks restless, eyes still darting to the creature. I nudge his arm. What is it? I think I may know a way to stop it. His tone doesn't convey much confidence, but I nod anyway. Okay, let's try. Zaneri glances back at me, still poised in defense. She keeps a careful eye out on Elveril steps up, hovering over his shoulder protectively. He holds out a charm of Felfied, and it glows even brighter. Magic swirls around us, warm and golden like firelight. He speaks out to the creature. I can help you. The creature halts, golden magic weaving around it. The decaying plant pulses with light. Dead leaves fill with color, and a white moss blossoms healthy green. The body relaxes, and there's just a cluster of plant matter on the dungeon floor. Elveril blinks. It worked? You sound far too surprised. He lets out a sigh of relief, tucking the charm back on his belt. I'm just glad I was able to help it. The golden swirl of magic around us fade. The expanse of the dungeon lies in front of us. I think that was only the first of many dangers. I'm sure. Everyone stay close. She takes the lead again as we continue through the corridors, long-forgotten ruins of the dungeon surrounding us as we walk. Who do you think lived here when it wasn't ruined? I brush my fingers against crumbling engravings in the walls. I can just make out shapes of trees. Zaneri follows my gaze to what was once intricate stonework of twisting leaves and branches. Druids, perhaps? Or something similar connected. Maybe that's why the creature responded so well to your magic, Elveril. There's shuffling up ahead that catches— that's a good explanation. That catches my attention, so I quickly hold up for us all to be quiet. There's a flash of familiar red, and ooh, I don't like red. And rounding a corner in front of us is a low-flying imp. Fuck these imps, man! Its eyes go wide at the sight of us. Same here. It opens its mouth, and I can't risk it sounding an alarm and announcing a presence. I take out my pan flute, hell yeah, and begin to play. I can see threads of magic weave through the air towards it. Go to sleep. Be still. My command takes hold, and its mouth and eyes close. It drifts to the ground, chest still rising and falling as it falls into a deep slumber. My companions and I creep around its sleeping form. When I speak, I pitch my voice to a whisper. There must be more up ahead. We need to be careful. And if we're quieter in the first place, we wouldn't have this issue. We can't all be like you. Pity. I could scout ahead. I could get through this dungeon and back again before you'd even know I was gone. We're staying together. What if you ran into trouble? I don't get caught. Not when I'm on my own. It's okay. So, we're just slowing you down? They give a showy shrug and wink at him. You're lucky I don't mind. They need us. Like, they would be so much worse off without us. Like, I just had that feeling. The dungeon ahead is full of corridors that twist and turn, branching off into dozens of rooms. I try to keep us on the straight path and lead us deeper in. Whoever is in here, the imps and hopefully Charlotte Fishman herself will be along this path. Ahead of us, there's a stone door that is similar to the ones we encounter at the entrance. I push on it, it's locked tight. Ora's lockpick slips into their hands with an easy motion. See? What would you do without me? They fiddle with the lock with the same simplicity. There's a click, and they freeze in place. I'm about to ask what's wrong, until the answer springs to my mind. Another trap, only this one wasn't disarmed. I only have a few seconds before it hits them. Oh god. Use magic, pull them out of the way, let it hit them. Well, we're not gonna let it hit them! I think magic would take too long, so let's just pull them. I lunge for them and yank them out of the way. The door bursts open and there's a flash of metal as a sharp blade slices forth. It catches my bicep, tearing the cloth of my shirt, and there's a sting of pain. Ooh. Breathing hard, I let them go now that we're out of danger. They look a little lost for words, which is something new. Irisite. Elvaril steps up to me quickly and takes my arm. Zaneri follows and places a hand on my shoulder in concern. Elvaril's hands shake as swirling pink magic dances between his fingertips and seeps into my skin. He lets out a tired breath as the wound closes up. Are you alright? All better, thanks to you. I look over at Aura, who's still staring at me in surprise. Why would you do that? I didn't want it to hurt you. I'd do it again if I had to. They raise a hand, fingers not quite touching the spot where the wound had closed up. Iris, I'm sorry. No, you're fine. They look, I chose it. They scuffed the floor with their foot, a sudden cold breeze whipping around us. I feel stupid, I guess. Should have realized it was trapped. Look, it's fine. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. Like, come on, it's fine. I don't know why I broke into song. Wow, I really am a bard. Wow. I'm role-playing. Mistakes happen, but it's nothing we can't fix. I just don't want to let you guys down. You don't! You got the poison dart. That was good. You're not. Thank you, Iris. Elvaril and Zaneri go to them with their own words of encouragement. They get a playful eye roll in return as Zaneri ruffles their hair. I glance through the now open door, the trap lying dormant. Everyone ready? I take the lead and guide the group through the dungeon. It isn't long before we pass through another chamber and Zaneri stops us. Can you hear that? Everyone falls silent. I can hear something coming up from ahead. I can hear something from behind, and it's my cat. Diamond. And of course she shuts up once I call her out. It sounds like people speaking, but it's not in a language I recognize. The imps? That sound like my cat? She nods, drawing her axe. Let them focus on me, I can take it. Look. All you need to stay safe. Mother! She doesn't give us a chance to protest as she kicks open the door of the chamber. I can hear the screeches of the imps as they descend on her. Wait! They rush into the chamber after her, propelling themselves on a gust of wind to carry them in. I run into the battle, drawing my scimitars. The chamber is filled with imps, a flurry of bat wings and spiked tails. One whips out at me, and I duck just in time. I launch myself into the fray, blades swinging, two swipe down at me. I am undaunted. I know exactly where and how to strike next. Through the chaos of battle, I get a glimpse of my companions. Aura moves so quickly that the ground has no purchase beneath them. A swirl of dust kicks up as they move, a living tornado. Elvaril keeps back, eyes on all of us. He reaches his hands out, and a long dead bramble springs to life to wrap around one of the imps. Zaneri brings her axe down on it. She is a fury in battle, yelling out and drawing the imps away from Elvaril. They swarm her. Every time she bats them away, more take their place. Even so, she is steadfast as the injuries begin to wear her down. I hear the thrum of magic building within me. As I release the spell towards a cluster of imps, my magic seeps into their skin, and they wither and weaken. The clamor of battle rings in my ears. Zaneri continues to draw their focus to her, but her movements are sluggish and labored. She cannot keep this up for long. Oh no! I run for her, blades in hand. She catches my eye as she swipes at another imp. I'm fine. Just stay safe. No! An imp dives towards me, and its tail lashes out. There's a stinging pain in my arm as it makes contact. Another grabs for my sword, trying to wrench it out of my grasp. Aura materializes from the shadows and bashes the imp over the head with their quarterstaff, and they flash me again. They move swiftly onto their next target. I am locked in battle with a particularly fast imp when I notice a flurry of movement in the corner of my vision. A group of imps swarms Zaneri, who is wounded. They grab at her, dragging her further deeper into the dungeon. No! I charge after them, ignoring the imp right at my heels. Aura, Elvaril, and I converge on the imps and battle our way through. I dodge out of imp's reach and go to launch myself at it, but I'm not given a chance to. A massive axe comes into my field of vision and takes it down in one strike. Zaneri's breathing is ragged as she stands before me, cuts and bruises littering her skin. She winces in pain, leaning on her axe. You hurt, you should sit down. Yeah. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. We need to be careful, there could be more of them. Let's heal! We gotta drink our potion! She starts heading across the room, but her knees buckle. I reach out to brace her, but I'm not strong enough to hold her upright. She drops to the floor with a groan. Elvaril and Aura rush over with concern. Are you alright? She still just waves me off. I'm okay, I just need to catch my breath. Elvaril crouches beside her. No, you're not. Please let me help. You should waste your reserves. It's not a waste, this is what I'm here for. She doesn't look entirely convinced, but doesn't offer any more protesting. I take a seat across from her as Elvaril begins to cast. You can't do this to yourself. I just want to keep you all safe, I can take it. I know, and thank you for protecting us. Just know that it goes both ways, and we want to help you too. Like when I saved you guys not too long ago. Alvariel's magic surrounds her. The scent of spring air fills my lungs. Zeniri is quiet as she watches her wounds close. I traveled alone for so long. I'm glad to have people to protect. Oh. Sitting up, she looks to me. She reaches out and places her hand on my shoulder. She leans in to press our foreheads together. You're good to me. I mean, Alvariel's the one doing the healing, but, you know, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm glad I could help. I cup her face. I'm proud of us for having initiative. I cup her face, thumb brushing against her cheek. You mean a lot to me. I hate seeing you hurt. I'm not strong like you are, but I'll always have your back. She rests against me for a moment long, before she pulls back with a warm smile. She squeezes my shoulder affectionately. Zeniri gets to her feet and dusts off. Looking around the dungeon chamber, I look at all the imps that are scattered across the floor. See, flirting is just, you know, restoring your mana, probably. It's just like rejuvenating yourself. This is very cute. I'm loving it. What brought them all here? And how did they get here? I feel a shiver down my spine as the realization hits me. There must be a portal. Then we close it. Aura examines an imp with a frown. Why haven't they attacked the town? It's so close by. Flirting restores all spell slots. You know what? That should be canon because, like, when you go to camp in, like, Baldur's Gate 3 or something, you're just flirting the whole time, but you get your spell slots back too. So, I don't know. I think we're on to something. Maybe they were waiting for more to come through. Maple Rest is a small and defenseless town. Look around. They could have swarmed the town easily. They gestured to the horde of imps we faced. They only attacked us. Okay. I'm just speculating. I'm probably just wrong. But maybe Charlotte is in control of this magic and these imps, and they're using them as a way to protect the town from, like, any more bandit attacks. So maybe they're registering us as bandits, but we're not. That's my guess. They grabbed Zeniri. They tried to take her like they took me. Worry seeps in. We're walking into this with too many questions. I think we're closer to whatever they wanted to take us, to wherever Charlotte Fishman is. My companions stay right behind me as we delve deeper into the dungeon. I can feel it before I see it. A stifling heat envelops us as we walk. It's like sitting too close to a campfire, but with none of the comforts. Ooh, I like that description. It takes only one glance at the others to how they feel it too. Alvariel tugs at his collar as the heat bears down on us. We turn a corner and my stomach drops when I see the flickering of flames down in the hall, through an open door. At least this door is already open. Everyone, stay close. As we approach, the heat grows. I feel a bead of sweat trickle down my skin. Then we see the source of the heat, a fiery portal that can only lead to the hells itself. Heavy, oppressive magic surrounds us. When we agreed to find a missing woman, I did not think it would lead us to a portal to the hells. I'm just going to throw this out here. It's not too late to turn around and tell Francis we couldn't find his wife. But we promised we would help. 80 gold is not worth traversing the hells. Yeah, I'm kind of on Aura's side here. It's not about the money. Whatever is going on, we have to help her. They click their tongue and toss him a fond look. Why do you have to be so good all the time? We reach the threshold, my hands grasping the hilts of my not me agreeing with Aura, but going in anyway. It's fine. I expect to see another horde of imps awaiting us. There's only one long figure in the room. However, they face away from us, silhouetted in the flames of the portal. Charlotte Fishman? I'm gonna have to leave now, but this looks so good. Have fun, guys. No problem, Butter. Thanks for dropping by for a little bit. I hope you have a good rest of your day. They turn slowly, and I see a woman matching the description given to us. She looks exhausted, like she's gone days without sleep. Your adventures? It's not posed as a question, but I answer it as one. Yes, we're here to help you. Your husband has hired us to find you? I glance to the portals that bear down on us, the flames shifting within. Let's get out of here and get you home. We'll keep you safe. My eyes are drawn to the tight necklace of her neck, a red stone inlaid within. I take a cautious step towards her. It's too late. I promise it's not. Whatever has happened to you, we can fix it. The portal flares brighter and her eyes dart to it. It's not complete yet. Only a few have come through. It needs a sacrifice. There's a sinking feeling in my stomach. We'll leave together. All the imps are dead. No one needs to be a sacrifice. The gem on her neck glows brightly, matching the flare of the portal. I'm not the one who will be sacrificed. Oh! No, you will! She raises her hand and the door slams shut behind us. Her arms crackle with magic. Zeniri moves beside me, drawing her axe. I place a hand on her arm to stop her. If I can just keep her talking, maybe I can defuse the situation. Whatever has happened, it's not too late to go home. Your husband misses you. He wants to know where you're at, that you're okay. This is for him, so I can protect him. Last month, a group of bandits pillaged our town. They took whatever wasn't nailed down, everything we had worked for, and told us we should be grateful that they weren't taking our lives. I had to sit and watch and could do nothing. She spits out the words, voice trembling. That will never happen again. I'm so sorry that happened to you. We spoke with Feline. She told us you had been asking about magic and the arcane. This is where you found your source? It came in my dreams, offering me all the power and magic I wanted. In her hands, crackling flames appear, but it asked for something in return. We both look at the portal now. It told me to build it, bringing imps through to help with the construction. I made them swear to not harm Maple Rest, which is along Champion's Way. They would have had a direct path to Heartcliff. A chill runs through me. Wards surround the city of Heartcliff that prevent extraplanar portals open within city limits. If a portal is opening here, there are likely others across the countryside too. This has become something that runs deeper than a missing woman in a small town. Of course, you would allow the fiend access to our world and let them attack the city? Charlotte is quiet. I'm opening a door. I just want to keep the people I love safe. Don't you understand? I glance at my friends around me. I do, but this has to stop. There will be no sacrifices. She shakes her head. It was only a matter of time before travelers came in along the road. They see themselves as adventurers, and what better than an old dungeon with mysterious noises to explore? I remember the flyer on the notice board. A perfect trap. Damn. No one in town would get hurt that way. She gives a long look. I didn't think Francis would hire adventurers to look for me. How much did he promise you? 80 gold. She shakes her head with a bitter laugh. That's almost everything we have saved up. He cares about you, and I'm sure he wouldn't want you doing this. She slips a finger under the necklace that pulled tight around her neck. I know. I thought this would all be easier, but I can't. They'll take it away from me. Her hands flicker with flames and she begins to walk towards us. My friends begin to reach for their weapons, but I hold up my hands for everyone to stop. I've kept her talking for this long. I can see her resolve wavering. Besides, after the imps, I don't know if we can handle another fight. So you kill us and finish the portal. What happens next? Hordes of fiends wreaking havoc on the countryside and then the city? You'll forever be bound to a devil. It will claim your soul. It didn't want my soul. It will eventually, and it will claim it. There are others to learn magic than dealing with the hells. I just want to keep us safe. You will be putting everyone in danger with this. Charlotte stands in front of us, her hands shaking as magical flames lick at her fingertips. How do we close the portal, Mrs. Fishman? She reaches for her collar again. This is how they are giving me magic. If it was destroyed, the connection would fail. At her words, the portal flare is bright and the heat is overwhelming. I cover my face as a blast of heat engulfs the room with a wince. I don't think we have much time. We have to do it now. She grabs the choker and yanks, but it doesn't come free. She gasps as it grows tighter around her neck. I need a drink. I rush to her and pull a dagger from my boot. I need her to hold still and trust me. She nods her head frantically, and I study her and slice through the leather. The portal flares up so brightly that it hurts my eyes. The necklace is burning to the touch and I drop to the ground. Zaneri, can you... Before I can even finish my sentence, she has brought her axe down. The strike lands true, and the gem shatters. The burning heat makes it harder to breathe, and from the portal emerges a large fiery hand. It reaches towards Charlotte, but I interpose myself between them. I made a promise to keep her safe, and don't intend on going back on my word. The hand lunges for me. I dart back, but it's faster and grabs my arm. This reminds me of Devil May Cry. There is a searing pain, and I cry out as it drags me to the portal. No! Iris! There are strong arms that wrap around me. I've got you. I'm not letting you go. She grabs the clawed, fiery hand, unafraid of the flames, and yanks it off of me. I fall back into her waiting arms as she holds me close. Good end. I bury my head in the crook of her neck to escape the impossible heat. The hand retreats into the portal and begins to crumble and break. With a final flash of bright light, the portal goes dark. Breathing hard, we stare at the ruined portal. A pulse of pain makes me wince, and I examine my arm. I've suffered worse wounds, but it still stings. Instinctively, I look to Alvarel. Help me! But I'm surprised to see him looking lost. Irisai. He reaches out, and there's a swirl of gold dancing between his fingertips. It flickers feebly and vanishes. He grimaces and shakes his hands to try again. His magic blinks out even faster. Now I notice how exhausted he looks, and every time he attempts to draw on his magic, it gets worse. Oh, Alvarel, are you okay? He opens his mouth and closes it again. Just hold still. His hands shake with exertion as he summons his magic once more. I pull back despite his noise of protest. You have to tell me what's going on. Zaneri and Aura notice something is off and come join us. Alvaro glances away and steps back. It's been a long trek through the dungeon and he's completely drained. I can heal you, I promise. He shakes his hands again, as if it would shake loose extra magic. I hold up my hand, trying not to wince from the pain. You're exhausted and you're gonna hurt yourself if you try. But I'm your healer. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm sorry. I mean, you could do it later, baby. You're not just a healer. You're our friend and I want you to be okay. He finally meets my eyes and gives me a nod and a smile. I gesture to my arm. I'll wrap it and we'll check it out in the morning. Yeah. I look at Charlotte, who has been quiet. She stands away from us, just staring at her hands. Mrs. Fishman, are you alright? She looks up exhausted. Her hands tremble at her sides. What happens now? I wish this was it. I can't imagine this the only portal that's been open this side of the country. And I don't believe devils are known for broken contracts. She closes her eyes and takes a few long breaths. So what do I do now? It contacted me in my dreams. It can reach me again. You should head for Heartcliff. You'll have protection there and people who are willing to teach magic. She shakes her head. This is our home. I can't uproot our lives. She falls silent, staring at the ruined portal. You've done the right thing. You'll know what the right thing is for your family, too. She flexes her fingers like she's waiting for the flames to spark up again, but they are cold and lifeless. What are you going to tell my husband? She does not meet my eyes. I mean, tell him whatever you want us to tell him. I don't know yet, but we're going to get you home. She nods and stays with us as we leave the dungeon. I spare a last glance at the ruined portal and see a few sparks amongst the stones. Leaving the dungeon is thankfully uneventful. Charlotte keeps to herself, staring at her hands and clutching her neck. I slow my stride to walk beside her, and she spares me a glance. I wasn't born with magic. I made no deal for it. I learned it as I learned to make music. You've tapped into the arcane, so if that's a path you want to pursue, I think you'll be able to find it again. I hope you're right. The fresh air is more than welcome, and I take a deep breath of the evening air. Charlotte stares at the door of the dungeon, worry creasing her features. I like how sparkly and purple it is this time. I saw this door in my dreams almost every night. I thought it would bring me my salvation. She brushes her hands against the stones before she turns away sharply. My friends approach me. Are you going to tell Francis what she did? I'm not sure yet. I can feel the weight of her gaze on me. Why do they always look to me for an answer? I mean, we seem to know what we're doing. What do you think? I glance between the three of them. I feel like I'm making all the decisions. The one talking to everyone. You should be included in the discussions. I don't have all the answers. I've always trusted you to say the right thing. You know how to talk to people. And your decision-making track record has been pretty good. If we made all the bad choices, would they have still said that? If you were awful at it, it would be a different story. Okay, well that's not ominous at all. That makes sense. I just wanted to be sure I wasn't forcing you to do things you didn't want to do. Oh, we'd let you know. The question, of what to tell Charlotte's husband now weighs heavy in the air around us. We either tell Francis the truth or be covered up for her. What do you think? Telling the truth feels better, but that's for our own benefit. It could make things worse for them. I would say that Francis deserves to know the truth, but Charlotte doesn't seem regretful. It may only cause further pain. Aura shrugs and glances at the other. You guys are really taking to this whole decision-making thing. Do we tell him or not? You haven't answered. They groan, a cool gust of wind whipping around us. Well, would I want to know if my spouse had made a deal with the devil for magical powers? They open their mouth and promptly close it. I guess so? It would suck, though. I try to resist the urge to laugh and fail. Okay, we'll work on making decisions as a group, but for now, I think... I mean, I feel like it's just not really... I mean, I don't want to, like, lie to him, but I feel like that's her business, you know? Like, and it's kind of embarrassing. Like, she could always, like, write it, and I want to give her the opportunity to tell him and not hear it from us. Like, we're not her parents. So, I think we're just gonna lie. Like, probably not the best thing to do, but I don't know. It feels like what I want to do. We'll tell him Charlotte was kidnapped by devils, but we all killed all of them. It's close to the truth without implicating her. Yeah, that's nice. That sounds good to me. If she ever wants to tell him the truth later on, then that's her decision. Yeah, see? Me and Alvarell. See, Alvarell agrees, so it has to be the right choice because he's a good boy. I trust your judgment completely. Thank you, Zaneri. Good plan. And it gives her a credible reason to want to move to Heartcliff if she wants to learn magic. That's true. Ahead of us, Charlotte is heading straight for the town and not bothering to wait for us. I gesture for them to follow and we head after her. Just drink time again. That was really interesting. I wasn't expecting a fucking fire portal or anything like that. We're in Oblivion. No. Yeah, that's different. She knows the way home, and before long we stand in front of her house. She stands still as she stares up at it. It's good to be home. I knock on the front door and wait only a moment before Francis swings it open. Yes, oh. His gaze falls onto Charlotte and takes a sharp breath in. He takes a cautious step forward and then runs to her. He pulls her into a tight embrace. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. I've missed you so much, my love. Charlotte wraps her arms around him, burying her head in his shoulder. Eventually, Francis pulls back and glances between us and her. What happened? Is everyone all right? Charlotte waits expectantly. Everyone is all right, for the most part. We found Charlotte in a nearby dungeon. Francis looks at her with a worry, stroking her hair. There's a group of devils attempting to build a portal from the hells there. His eyes go wide and frightened. Devils? Here? And Charlotte? She sucks in a breath and closes her eyes. Charlotte had been taken hostage by them. There was a ritual they needed to open the portal. We destroyed the imps in the portal and got her out of there. Francis holds her tightly and they whisper quietly to each other. I'm so glad you're safe. He glances over his shoulder at us. I cannot thank you enough. Please, wait here. I'll bring the money I promised you. I look at Charlotte and remember what she had said about the money being almost all her savings. No, okay. Alright, well, we lied for her sake, so we could take the money now. Like, we saved you from the imps, and we saved you, period, from your husband and giving you the opportunity to tell him on your own, so we're taking that fucking money. Like, are you kidding? We gotta get something out of that. But this adventure had not been easy, and we've been short on coin for a long time. Yeah, Francis goes back into his home and returns with a heavy coin purse. And plus, he had already been prepared to, like, not have it anymore, so it's fine. I am lucky, kind-hearted adventurers like you came along the road when you did. May the gods grant you safe travels. I give them both a nod and leave them to their reunion. Let's head back to the tavern. I think we could use a break. And a drink now that we have all this money. We return to Palewood Inn and grab a table. I begin to count out the coin purse and divide it equally between the four of us. Fuck, that's only 20 apiece. I check my hastily bandaged wound. Not me being money hungry. Okay, relax. Hastily bandaged wound, wincing at a dull throb of pain. I remind myself it'll be healed tomorrow. And I slip my arm out of sight from my friends. Zenari poses the question that's all in our minds. So, what now? We found a portal to the hells. Someone should know about this. Someone more important than us. And I don't think that was the only portal either. Do you have any suggestions? Elveril shrugged, looking into his drink. Someone from Heartcliff, I guess? There must be someone who can do something about it. Is that our next destination, then? That is where the road leads. Any objections to that plan? I've never been to Heartcliff before, but it'll be fun as long as I'm with you guys. Oh, I share the same sentiment. Wherever you go, I'll be by your side. I visited years ago. There might be a few people I can make contact with to help us. Well, that's good. That sounds like a good plan. Exhaustion from the long crawl through the dungeon and the fighting wears on me. I'd love to get into bed, but there's still a little bit more time before the night comes to an end. Time to flirt again! Woo! Stay with my friends. Well, I guess we're committing, huh? Like, we're actually committing. I'm gonna take a slight break real fast. I gotta pee. But I won't be long, I promise. Okay. Made sure I was not muted this time when I came back. I think I actually remember exactly what happened that fucked me up last time too. I did unmute it because I was like, yeah, I'm back. And then I like went to progress in the game and click, and then I ended up clicking my mute button and I was like, oh. So, whoops. But I guess we're committing to Zaneri. I mean, I like the others too, so I mean, like, I can't really go wrong, but I feel like we got chemistry. I don't know, I can feel it. Zaneri glances at me from across the table. I think I'm ready to turn in. It's been a long day. It really has. Someone else can keep watch tonight. I'm exhausted. She's so tired. She's like, yeah, stop, fuck it. Somebody else is gonna do that shit. We say goodnight to the other two. Aura throws her arm around Elvaril's shoulders and orders another drink. Her hand rests comfortably on my back as we head up to our rooms. Oh, wow. She leans in the doorway of hers and I stand in mine, the hallway between us. I faced many dangerous creatures. I've seen nothing like that portal. There were moments where I thought I could see the other side. She trails off and shakes that thought off. You think there are more? Just a hunch. I could be wrong. I don't think you are. We're doing the right thing by going to Heartcliff. She takes a careful step forwards. When that thing tried to drag you in, I was terrified. She fights so fearlessly in battle, it's hard to imagine her scared of anything. I was scared too. Thank you for getting me out of there. That's what we do. We look out for each other. I meet her in the middle. I'm glad you're alright, and I'm glad to know you. Glad to know you, babe. She's standing so close to me and she raises her hand tentatively. She brushes her thumb against my cheek, impossibly light. Iris. Her eyes dart across my features, and she swallows. Her voice comes out soft and low. Oh! Yes? Hello? She might as well just said, can I marry you? And I would have also been like, yeah, obviously. I nod and she leans in. Her lips are warm against my own. Her hands brushes my side, hovering. I whisper against her lips. You can hold me, you know. I'm not made of glass. I won't break under your touch. Wow! That's all she needs. One hand grabs my hip. Oh! As the other cradles my face. Oh! Warm hands covered in battle scars. She leans in to kiss me again. I carefully navigate around her sharp tusk. I didn't even think about that. Wow. Smile against my lips. I'm living my best life right now. I'm glad to know you too. She pulls me into a tight embrace and I tuck my head into her neck. I press a kiss there. Oh! She rests her forehead against mine. Orc's best kissers for real. I bet. God, what I would give. What happens now? Whatever you want. I'll be at your side. She kisses my forehead and I know she feels the same way. Wow. We got a kiss. We got a kiss, guys. Wow, we destroyed a devil portal and we got a kiss. Today, best day. The town of Maple Rest is quiet that evening. The air grows cold as the looming threat of winter seeps in. Oh, is it snowing? Another leaf drifts slowly down, joining the large pile beneath the trees. The story of these travelers has just begun, with many more stories to unfold. For now they have each other, and the road beneath their feet. Ooh. We're already in chapter 2? I'm just like... I didn't even realize. I would have taken a break there. Whatever, it's fine. Save the day. Got the girl. Hell yeah. Iris, we stay winning. I stay up tending to the fire while the others sleep. There's a winter chill in the air that sets in fast since the first snow. Dead leaves scatter across the ground, a cool breeze picking them up and making them flutter. I pull my cloak tighter around me, poking at the flames as the spark drifts up at the night sky. Zaneri rolls over in her sleep, her bedroll rolling with her. We set up camp just on the edge of the road. I've been keeping watch during the second shift of the night. I can barely see beyond the campfire as the night is pitch black around me. I'm struggling to stay awake. We've been traveling for a week from Maple Rest. As we've left the small town and its troubles behind, the weight of the knowledge we hold is heavy on my shoulders. Fiends building portals and corrupting mortals to do their bidding. We stopped one, but we can't do it alone. So we've been making our way north to Heartcliff, which is the capital of the province. Champion's Way winds its way there, a well-traveled trail host to adventurers and merchants alike, which is lucky for us. We crossed paths with someone selling winter gear, like the heavy cloak I have on. I'm sure they charged more than they were worth, seeing how desperate we were, but it's worth it on cold nights like these. I don't know, we have a big orc girlfriend we could be cuddling right now, and that doesn't cost anything. Over maybe a couple of kisses. I'm so stupid. Alvarell is wrapped up in one of the blankets we purchased. He needed it most of all. Oh, spending most of the night time freezing. He's me. As he sleeps, his face is tight, pulled together in a frown. The expression doesn't suit him, and I wonder if it's the weather or a nightmare that's causing his glower. It's probably both. I shiver, rubbing my hands together over the fire to shake the chill. Gods above, why can't there be a tavern conveniently placed along the road that we could stay in? Maybe we should abandon the trip and build one ourselves. Thoughts of a roaring fireplace and a cozy bed to curl up in helps. Plumes of smoke rise into the air and my eyelids are heavy. Yawning, I shake myself to stay awake. Fuck. How many more hours until I wake Aura for their shift? I glance over at them, curled into a ball and clutching their pillow. They're a heavy sleeper, so I'll have to challenge in rousing them. Just a few more days until Heartcliff. We'll find someone to report the fiendish activity to, and it's out of our hands. Then we can catch our breath and plan what adventure we'll take on next. In a big city, there will be plenty of work for us, contracts to take the bounties to claim. I'm used to big cities. This will be my first time. Now I think we're a city girl. Like, we're a city girl, mercenary bard lady. I feel like bards would really thrive in a big city, and we don't seem to really be fond of the outdoors and shit, so we like a big city. Well, I've never been to Heartcliff. I used to live in a big city, so I know my way around. There are different dangers than in the wilds, but I have experience under my belt. Most importantly, have a responsibility for my part. They trust me to make decisions, so I cannot let them down as a leader or a friend. Something snaps beside me, and I sit up straight. My heart is pounding in my chest. I reach for my scimitar. After a moment, a small creature scampers deeper into the forest, a squirrel or chipmunk. I can't tell in the darkness. I relax, but don't let down my guard yet, as I scan the branches for ravens. Yeah, fuck those ravens. The forest returns to its usual noise. Nothing out of the ordinary, no imminent imp attack, but it's enough to jolt me awake, and I'm alert for the rest of my watch. The next morning, an arm shakes me awake. I roll over to see a blue face peering down on me. Oh my gosh. Rise and shine, Iris. They offer me a crooked grin and pat my shoulder. Zaneri is already awake and clearing the camp. She effortlessly slings a heavy backpack over her shoulder. Beside her, Alvarell stretches, his hair falling in front of his face. Then he brushes away along with a few snowflakes. Long day of travel ahead of us. We should get going. We set the pace. It wouldn't be so long if we took more breaks. Yeah, but then we're out here in the snow and cold for longer. You want that? Alvarell huddles into the blanket and sighs. No, but shouldn't we have gotten a cart and a horse or something? With what money? We have some gold to our names from Francis, but pulled together it wasn't enough for a horse or a cart. There was one pitiable stable in Maple Rest, and even if we had coin to pay, I'd feel awful separating that horse from the stable master who loved it so dearly. Aw. Tell you what, we might be able to make some gold in the city. I'll save up, and before we leave, I'll make sure we have a proper transportation. We'll save up. We're in this together. We can make a party fund for the resources we need. Oh my gosh, it's Red Dead Redemption again. Healing potions might be handy. Alvarell ducks his head and sneaks a glance toward my arm. The injury is healed, the burn fading from his magic after it had been replenished. I give him a look. It's fine. I promise. It's been a fine for days. Just set it in the snow. It'll be fine. I help Zaneri clean up the camp, putting out the fire. I don't know anything about burns. Putting out the fire and rolling up my bedroll. We should stock up in Heartcliff and get enough rations to sustain us during travels. And we won't need to eat any more dried fruits and nuts. We'll get a hot meal and a proper drink. I offered to take you hunting. You would suit it, stealthy as you are. I'm good at fighting people and demons, apparently, not rabbits. I'll leave that to you. She hums in agreement, and we finish packing the camp up. The half-orc looks up suddenly, her eyes narrowing. Someone is coming up along the road. There's a flash, and a spectral eagle appears on her arm, Echo. She takes to the air, and Zaneri's eyes go blank. The bird circling overhead to watch. The rest of us look around, unsteadily. My hands drift towards my blades. Echo lands on a branch above us, and Zaneri's eyes return to normal as she lowers her voice. Bandits, heavily armed. How do you want to handle this? She turns to me instinctively, but catches herself and glances at the others as well. Good, I've been waiting for a fight. Let's get our blood pumping. We don't have to fight, they're people too. Yeah, people are gonna rob us. We could talk to them first. I'd rather avoid it so we're not delayed. Can we hide or trick them in some way? And all eyes turn to me. You know we trust your judgment, Iris. What would you want? What would you do without me? They would all just die on the spot. Stand in a circle and argue about plans for hours? So what'll it be? I don't think I want to fight them. I think illusion magic could be good. Let's do that. You've done enough talking. I've got a plan. See? I can always trust you two. You guys go deeper into the forest and hide. I'll stay out here. What if they attack you? They won't, trust me. He nods and the three of them duck into the forest, keeping silent. Before the bandits are in sight, I cast an illusion spell that completely disguises my form to be old and weathered in shabby clothes. I sit at our campsite and use a twig to poke at the coals. Footsteps approach and I hunch over, looking cold and frail. A young, rugged man leads a troop of 7, all of them in patchwork armor and lugging heavy bags. He stops, holding a fist up. Hey, you! I don't look up, poking at the low, burning coals. Hey! His boots crunch in the snow as he steps up to me, looking me over, his brows furrowed. You're not really about to ask them to hand over their... Shut up! He turns back to me. Why are you out here? Are there others with you? Just me. I'm following the road home. The illusion affects my voice too, making it hoarse and crackly. Okay, I can try that. He eyes me up before there's a shift in the forest. His head snaps towards it. I try and school my features, and I should have known better. Alvaril isn't agile or stealthy in that armor. I need this bandit's attention before he tries to investigate. Use a charm spell! More magic, let's go! I grab my pack and pull out my pan flute. Young man, can I play you a song? What? I begin to play, and a enchantment subtly weaved into the music. He blinks, his eyes going fuzzy as the charm seeps into his mind. Oh, that's I love the expression. That's good. Oh, that's rather pleasant, actually. He's softer under the effects of the spells, and he looks like he's ready to join me by the fireside and listen for hours. You should return to your friends and be on your way. It's very cold out. You don't want to be out here long. Right, you're right. Have you had anything to eat? We have some bread to spare. He calls over and brings me a hard loaf of bread with nuts and dried... Hey, we got some food! Baked in. I take it graciously and thank them. The bandits move on. The charm won't last forever, but I intend to be far away by then. Coast is clear. The rest of the party emerges, leaves in their hair. Alvaril picks one out, and it scatters to the ground into ash. You'll all be set in your twilight years. You make an excellent octogenarian. Whatever that means. The illusion shimmers away. That was a good call. We need to get out of here before they decide to return. We leave hastily on the road again. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Our next... I just keep singing. I'm just gonna always sing. Okay, our next days of travel are uneventful. The wind's growing colder. One morning we woke up to half buried in the snow. Oh. As we walk along the road, the constant strain of travel is starting to wear on me. I slow down and take a moment to stretch and regain my stamina. Because you're a bard, you gotta sing. I'm just in it. I mean, I don't think me and Iris are the same people, but Iris would definitely sing about just random shit. That's my headcanon. It's not a headcanon. That's what they do. They hum and they sing on their travels. Zaneri notices and falls behind to keep me company. Are you alright? Fine. Just tired. I'll catch up. I'll wait here with you. I finish a stretching routine, cool air filling my lungs. I try and refocus my thoughts on the road and not dream of a warm bed by a fire. She holds out a hand. I'll carry your bag. Oh, I can carry it. You don't have to. I want to. Just as I want to stay here with you. I like how forward she is. I love forward characters. I'm just like, okay. Because usually I'm the one always talking everybody up. So I like to be talked up every once in a while. She takes my back. Can you... I guess I could share that story. Out of me and my husband, I was the pursuer. I've always been the pursuer in things because I just can never, like, be patient, basically. It's like the second I know I like something, I'm just like, okay, time to settle down. Let's get married. Let me propose you an offer. And also, I have no shame, so that doesn't help either. But, like, I love it. I love it. She takes my backpack and slings it over her shoulder effortlessly. I appreciate you. She reaches out, a few fingers brushing my cheek in a fond gesture. We've kept this budding romance simple and quiet, not keen on displays of affection right in front of her friends. Yo, I'm the same way. I don't fuck with PDA, like, really hard. Like, if people do PDA, it's fine. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, and I feel like it makes other people who are even more uncomfortable than me uncomfortable. So, like, I just hate the idea of it, and I never feel good about doing it. Like... I don't know. I've just always had a weird thing with PDA. I don't like it. As we move on, she takes the front, keeping a sharp eye out. Aura jogs up to join her, chatting away. Alvaril matches my pace, glancing over at me. He opens his mouth and then closes it quickly. I give him a curious glance. Everything okay? Oh, everything is fine. I guess I was just wondering. I know it's a bit personal, but are you and Zaneri together? Yes. I glance over to her again. Dark hair falling down her shoulders and her cloak billowing in the wind. As if sensing my gaze, she glances over my shoulder and gives me a tusk grin. We connected after our adventure in Maple Rest. She's someone I'm glad to have at my side. You and Aura too, of course. She's just special to me. He beams, face lighting up. I'm really happy for you. She cares about you a lot. The second you get hurt in any battle, she's always run right to your side. This makes me smile as I follow her with my eyes. I care about her too. Aura nudges her in a playful gesture, and I stay beside Elveril, who gives me one more shy smile. Our travel continues. By early morning, we're at our destination. Ooh, Reddit, let's go! Champion's Way winds higher and higher as we trek along. A cool, salty breeze wafts past, and gulls cry in the distance. I like that it's like a snowy beach as well. Snowy beaches are always very interesting to me, because like I've never lived in an area where that's even possible. So I would love to go to a beach area where it's snowing. There's just something like about the clash of that's always been very interesting to me. Elveril breaks off from the path, veering towards craggy rocks on the cliff's edge. Careful, you don't want to fall from this height. I mean, you'll catch me. It's still Canadian core. That would be so magical to see. Yeah! Like, I always see it like in animes, because I guess it just happens in Japan, where it can also be cold and they also have beaches. But I'm from Florida, so obviously that doesn't really happen. And then now I live in an area where there are no beaches, so... But yes, I want to see it one day. The half-elf stares beyond the edge, and I follow his gaze. It's the ocean. It's spread as far as I can see, and even further, roiling waves crash against the cliffside. A small cluster of ships sails around the bay, while there's a bustling port nestled below the city. Elveril's eyes are wide and glossy as he stares in awe. I've never seen the ocean before, only read about it. Aww! He laughs quietly, wiping his eyes. It's so beautiful. I'm glad we came here. I'm never going to complain about a long trip ever again. Zaneri places her hand on his shoulder as he's taking the sights. Got a lot of sights ahead of us. I look to the winding pathway that leads to the gates of Heartcliff. There's a large wall that rises from the cliffside, and towers and buildings are visible. We continue the trail as I lead the party to our destination. A few guards mill around the gate. We get more than a few glances, eyeing up our weapons. Oh, I didn't know you were from Florida originally. I was from Washington originally, but didn't live close enough to an ocean. It never snowed enough to see snow-covered beaches. Oh, that's cool! Yeah, I'm from Florida. I lived there for like half my life, so I do consider myself like a Floridian, and then like I had periods in my life where I moved back for a couple of years and then moved to where I currently am over and over again. It's like a lot, but it's way too expensive to live there now, so I don't, but I miss it, you know. I definitely give up Florida energy. I think once I tell people, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Because, or at least my idea of Floridians, I'm like, yeah. We're cut from the same cloth. What business do you have in the city, strangers? Okay, again, is it weird that I find characters in, like, all armor just hot? Like, I don't need to know what's underneath. Like, let's get married. What business do you have in the city, strangers? You're not from the city of Imilnor, are you? They glance at Elveril. Why do they glance at Elveril? Does he look like the people of wherever that was? No, we're not. There has been a disturbance in a town not far from here. We've come to report it. Their voice comes out in a bored drawl. If it's another bandit raid, there's nothing we can do. People know the risk of living beyond the walls of Heartcliff. This isn't bandits. Is there someone in charge I can speak with? I'm the captain. I'm the one in charge. Aura rolls their eyes. No, absolutely. It's like the Mandalorian. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It does something to my brain. And I speak with the manager. And Captain's Gate gate duty around here. Their armor clanks as they bristle. This is a matter of religious importance. Is there somewhere we can go regarding that, unless you happen to be a priest? Their back stiffens as they gesture to the city. You can speak with High Priestess Rayla in the Cathedral of Clairvoyance, Temple District, West End. Thank you for your help. I give them a nod and we hurry along with any more delays. A rolling cart passes by, full of produce and crops and dragged by a large ox. There's a bustling crowd and the sounds of people chattering and laughing. Merchants hawking their wares. It smells of roasting meats and damp wood fill the cobbled streets and we take it all in. Zaneri looks around, head turning at each new sight in wonder. She enjoys her peaceful treks through the wilderness, and this feels like the opposite of that, but there's no panic or fear in her eyes. Welcome to Heartcliff. She yanks aside carriage barrels through the street, nearly clipping us, ducking beside a large brick building. This isn't anything new to me. I take in Heartcliff and I'm reminded of my other times in cities like this. It feels like home. I might not know these streets yet, but I begin to navigate. I check in Elveril and Zaneri, both of them new to city life. Aura and I will be right here with you guys. Don't worry. It is very noisy. Her voice raises above the crowds, a few glances heading her way. Orcs are not an uncommon sight here, it seems, as I've already seen a few passing in the crowd. It's her tall stature and weapons that are drawing her eyes. Are you alright? Fine. I walk up to her and place my hand on her back in a comforting gesture. Are you sure? There's much to see. It's not bad. It's just different. She thinks for a moment. Just stay close? Of course. Yeah, I'll be your tour guide, Zaneri. Don't worry. Perhaps we should get out of the streets? Perfect. There's Aura is always ready to drink. He's like, let's go to a tavern, let's go to a bar. They just like always want to drink. They're just like, get me that ale that sells the best ale in the city. Nice and quiet too. We're on a mission, remember? We gotta get to the cathedral. Fuck, forgot about that. You could drink in the church, Aura. I'll let you. Aura loves a fun little drinky drink. Go off. I sigh and gather myself. Let's head to the temple district and we'll regroup from there. I navigate the streets, following signs and directions. It's not hard to find when the cathedral towers over the city. It's made of white stone and lofty spirals reach skyward. Stained glass windows cover the place, and the front of it is set with heavy wooden doors. People are heading in and out. We follow suit. Whoa! I like that emblem. That's really neat. And then I like that the stained glass is like just blue. It's just different shades of blue. The heady smell of smoke and incense hits me once we're in. There are many people inside talking and praying. One person kneels before a shrine, their hands clasped together as they whisper a prayer. Is this how people pray here? How do you pray? I don't know, I just talked to Thelphine. She's never asked for a shrine. Does she talk back? When it's important. She's the one who told me to leave home and see the world. I stop a person who's wearing robes and get their attention. Is High Priestess Rayla here? She is. Do you wish to speak with her? Yes, we do. It's an urgent matter. I'll take you to her. They lead us to the back of the cathedral where two women are huddled together whispering. One with blonde hair has knelt before the other, soft words that are muffled. The priestess puts a hand on her shoulder and she rises. The priestess glances at us. Okay, just Aphrodite and then this other lady. Welcome, new faces, to the cathedral. Do you know everyone who comes here? I know the look of new arrivals. High Priestess? The blonde fingers gently brush against Rayla's arm. I can't help but wonder if she's freezing in that outfit. Thank you for today. I'll leave you to your duty. She gives us a polite nod, and Rayla gives her a fond look as she leaves. How may I help you? Have you come to seek the shelter of Ymilder's clairvoyance? Sort of. We've come from Maple Rest. It's a small town not far from here. I glance around, wondering if anyone is listening. Zaneri nods at me to confirm we're all clear. I keep my voice low. We encounter danger there. Fiends, imps, lowly, but dangerous in numbers, disguised as ravens all over town. A greater fiend has corrupted someone in town to do its bidding, to open the portal to allow an army to march through the hells. They nearly succeeded. We just managed to stop them in time. We fear those demonic forces intend to continue to open up portals to march on here. Heartcliff. Wow, I cannot read today. We're over our heads with this one. We wanted to bring this to you so you might protect the city. The High Priestess mulls that over. So you fought ravens and claimed to have closed a portal to the hells? Well, they weren't ravens when we fought them, and I know what we saw. She looks me up and down, and I feel bare beneath her gaze. This will be considered, but do not fret. Heartcliff has magical defenses against supernatural threats. Under the protection of Ymdir's watchful eye, we are kept safe. If a threat is rising, our seers would have seen such a thing. It must have been a harrowing experience, but you are safe in these walls. Okay, but what about everybody outside of the walls, dog? I shake my head. How do you know? I know what we saw and what we fought. We came here to warn you. And warn us you have. It will not be forgotten. What is your name, child? Iris. How do I know, Iris? Do you follow the divine? No. No, I don't. It's never been my path. She nods. I have faith the right path lies in front of me, and that I will be granted the knowledge to guide my people. Ymdir is the god of all mortal kind. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that god's name. The very heart of our civilization. It would never lead us astray. Perhaps your companions understand. Do any of you have faith? Yeah, Elveril does. Steps up with his amulet twisting between his fingers. I do. She glances the flower charm he holds. Ah, you must be the follower of the wilds, of Kara and her bounty of nature. Oh no. My goddess is Delphine, of springtime. Forgive me, I am not familiar. Perhaps she is an aspect of Sebra, by a different name. You come from far away, do you not? Not from Emelnorn, right? What is up with them in Emelnor? What did Emelnor do to y'all? I don't even know where that is. I am from very far. And does your faith not guide your path in life? I guess, but my faith is in my friends. I appreciate Thalfian and her gifts, but we don't speak often. How do you talk to Ymdir? I worship him every day. I bring in those from the cold and grant them his blessings. You can come by any time you like. Perhaps there is much we can learn from each other. Okay, this line right here, I bring in those from the cold and grant them their blessings. I bring in vulnerable people who have nothing else to do and just need a warm place to eat and sleep. And then I bring them and they're like, yeah, God helped you, actually. And do you have the sight? The Cathedral of Clairvoyance, so you can see into your futures. Did you know we were coming? They cross their arms as they casually lean against a column. This is not the role I was granted. I am his voice, not his eyes. She smooths down the front of her robes. Iris, have faith. I appreciate this information. You are all welcome to come again, but there is nothing I can tell you at this time. Get some rest. You look as though you could use it. Okay, rude. I look great, actually. And also, I have a hot orc girlfriend. I don't like this lady. I don't know why I don't like them, but I just don't. I close my eyes and nod. This is what we came here for. It's out of our hands. We did our duty. Nothing to worry about now. I turn and lead the party through the aisles. That's it? It's not our problem anymore. We did what we set out to do. We warned them. Now we find some place to stay and decide what happens next. Shouldn't we seek out other towns? What if they have the same problems? Maybe we can stop them there. Why aren't they doing more? Shouldn't they be worried? She doesn't believe us, and why would she? We're strangers to the city. In her eyes, we're mercenaries looking to make gold off of tall tales. Let's just get out of here. But Zeniri has stopped, frozen in place. She has barely moved or said a word since we've been here. What's going on? There's someone here, watching. There's a jolt in my chest. Someone dangerous? She shakes her head. I don't believe so. Is it Ymdir? No, just a feeling. Eyes on us. Spark of magic. She nods over the corner of Cathedral, not far from where we were talking to the High Priestess. They would have heard it all. Track them. Don't let them out of our sight. Following something none of us can see, only trusting Zeniri's excellent eyes, we rush out to the cathedral while trying not to cause a scene. There, to the right. I launch myself as I would in the battle, and grab something solid, holding seemingly nothing but air. I yank onto it and pull it aside into the alley, pressing it against the outside wall of the cathedral where no one can see us. In my hands, the invisibility drops, and there's a stranger in my grasp. Oh! Hello! What are you gonna do to me? Kill me? I don't know. Why were you spying on us? Who do you work for? No one. What are you talking about? Who hurt you? I don't release them to give them some breathing room. They're panting, looking frazzled. Their clothes are not something I would peg for a spy. Not that a spy should have a distinctive look. She sighs, pressing her palm to her forehead. Okay, fuck. Bad start. I'm not your enemy. I don't think... It might be mine, by the way you grabbed me. I let her go, my hands in the air, and she dusts herself off. Who are you? Why were you listening to us while invisible? Can we go somewhere else other than against the fucking cathedral, please? Oh, demon lady, yeah, we're tuned in now. Damn it. Zeniri too soon. No, I'm just joking. I like Zeniri a lot. Could be a trap. Don't let them pick the location. They shut their eyes in frustration. I'm not trying to trick you. It's just not safe here. Why, are more people eavesdropping? You never know. She points a thumb at the cathedral. Ymdir's always watching, isn't he? Fine, but I want answers. No running off. Going to put me in manacles, too? What are you, the city guard? No, just high-strung. It's been a stressful week. It's hard to relax when there's possibility that any bird is going to turn into a demon and attack you. Weird, but fair. I expect an apology. After we get some answers, come on. I lead her to the rest of the party a few blocks away. Zeniri stands guard as we find another alleyway that's tucked away from the roads. I don't shove the stranger against the wall this time. Alright, who am I? And why was I listening? Yes, I get it. I'm Marid. I'm a scholar here, in the city. I don't work for anyone but myself. I've been investigating the cathedral. There's weird shit that's happened the past month, and I'm getting to the bottom of it, and it's all stemming from that place, so I go in there and I scope it out. You four caught my attention, so I wanted to hear what you had to say. Satisfactory? Zeniri gives a nod of approval. Good at spotting a liar. What's going on with the cathedral? No. I gave you what you asked. How do I know I can trust you? I'm sorry about shoving you into a wall. I should have led with a discussion. Accepted, and I understand. I wasn't making it easy. Now, who are you exactly? My name is Iris. Aura, I used to be a local too. Sounds like you don't like the cathedral on the best days. That's blasphemous, you know. She hums, amused. Weren't you the one who called out the high priestess for not being a seer? I doubt you spent much time there when you were here. I'm Everill. Elverill's just being polite. I'm Elveril. It's nice to meet you. Sorry about the rough start. You're a sweet one. Shoulda had him talk to me first. You can have him. You guys look really good together. They reach out, grabbing the flower amulet from his waist and examining it. He glances down a little nervous. This is pretty. What did you say your goddess's name was? Thafine. Yeah, never heard of her around here. Must have come a hell of a long way. He nods, and Merritt releases the amulet and points to Zaneri. And the big muscly one? Mine. I'm Zaneri. I think you are telling the truth. That's good, isn't it? Now, why wasn't she the one to tackle me? You got your roles all mixed up here. She's so real though, she's got taste. No. Mine. You would have preferred me? Merritt gives a cursory glance at her biceps. I take it back. They look back at me. So, those are your names. What do you do? We're travelers, adventurers, whatever you want to call us. Mercenaries? You'll fight anything for a bag of gold? I wouldn't say that. We help people. I'm sure the promise of gold helps. Absolutely it does. Yeah, hell yeah it does. Like, huh? She points at them and grins at me. At least they're honest with themselves. How much did you hear of our conversation with Rayla? Most of it. All of it. A portal to the hells, huh? Bigger than I thought. Also, I know I have a fiendish lineage, so before you ask, no, I'm not involved in whatever the fuck is going on. So what is going on? Seers stopped working, and they're trying to cover it all up. Whatever divination magic they had is gone, and they're flying by the seat of their pants. I'm a practitioner of the arcane arts. Magic is my specialty. If it stopped working for others, I need to know why. The thought slams into me. Seers without their sight. Rayla had lied. I see? I knew I couldn't trust that bitch. Why are they hiding it? Are you kidding? Admit their connection with Yimdyo has been cut off to the public? They'd never risk that kind of scandal. How long has this been going on? Past month or so. It has to be related to the friends in the portals. The fiends in the portals take out their ability to see it coming. How did you figure it out? I went for a reading. I don't frequent the place, but I wanted answers to a question. All I found was priests feigning a story to satiate me. I have ways to tell if magic is being used, and there was nothing, so I might have taken a look inside her head, just quickly. You can do that? Takes a lot of focus, but yes, all she was thinking about was the fear of her lost magic. And to be clear, this isn't the norm. Do they actually see into the future? To my understanding, it's divining the future in possibilities, not certainties. There are records in the history of prophecy and visions coming to seers of Yimdir in time of crisis. Take them out at the knees. Don't let them see. Shouldn't they be on edge and suspicious without their sight? It should, but I'm sure there are things they are doing behind the scenes, but they can't cause a panic. But the fact that they've gone so long with nothing being done makes me suspicious. Do you think they're working with the fiends? I don't trust them, but I have no proof. I doubt it is every priest, zealous as they are. She lets out a sigh. You are the first to listen to me. If there is a threat to my city, then I must stop it. There are protective wards that prevent portals or long-range teleportation to happen inside the city. If I was a fiend and I wanted to get on the side of our plane, I would want to take out those protections. That is my specialty. I am a master of abjuration and protective magic, so that is where I would start my search. We would need your help then. Did you study at the university here? Indeed. I attended the Arcane Academy and graduated with top marks. Her tail flicks behind her. I am quite adept at spellcraft. This has been a lot. I was so ready to just let it pass from our hands, but if we can't trust the cathedral, we've only just arrived. We'll think about it and reconvene tomorrow to make a plan. Merritt looks at the rest of the party. And you just speak for all of them? Yes, they're our leader. Yes, they're our leader. Gratefully elected by us, Merritt. I know the first introductions were unsavory, but we could use a friend with a sharp mind. Appreciated. So, where do you live? I rent an inn room not far from here. Gods know I can't afford a place of my own. Are there other rooms for rent? A few. The Misty Butterfly in the Market District. It's clean. Clean is good. We've been camping for the past week. They visibly shudder. In this weather? Have you ever left Heartcliff? They think about that for a moment. Never far, just a trip to gather ingredients. I usually just trade them for now. You are all from far away, are you not? This city is beautiful. You have not been here long. The beauty wears off. But there is much to see. If you've been traveling for long, I'm sure you want to see the sights. I have to take notes and return to my studies. I will see you at the inn tomorrow, yes? I nod. Yeah, we'll meet up tomorrow morning for breakfast. I sneak a glance at Zaneri. I've been lying if I said I didn't want to spend time with her. Aura and Alvarez exchange a look, and Aura wraps their arm around my shoulder. We'll catch you later tonight, yeah? Go have fun. Not our wing people. Love them. Wing friends. They give me a cheeky grin before linking arms with Alvarez. The two of them heading off to explore. I can hear them giving him the full tour. Zaneri steps up to me. This place is nothing like home. It will be interesting to see. Where do you want to go? She raises her head, watching the city pass by. She works her jaw as she thinks. I wish to see those ships in the harbor. Then we'll go there. We head out to the city and down to the docks. She slips her hand into mine. It's warm and comforting, but perhaps not just for my sake. It's crowded as we walk through the straits. Stay close, I don't want to lose you. Oh, you're not gonna lose me. We break through the crowds and reach the harbor. Ships ferry in and out, bright sails gleaming in the sun. The paint is salt sprayed across the helms, and the chatter of dock workers surrounds us. A bell is ringing somewhere, signaling one that is docking. A few people throw ropes across. Would you ever want to sail? I do not know. I don't know how. I laugh. Well, we could learn. But would you? Take a ship out and just go? Less weird on our legs, She watches. I love how thick her eyebrows are, too. That's always been, like, a favorite of mine. She watches as the crew comes down the gangplank and brings heavy crates onto the port. It would be an interesting adventure. I think if you decided to be a captain, I would gladly follow. You'd be our right-hand woman. Yeah, bushy brows. Hell yeah. You'd be my first mate. I just said that! Iris. I said it a lot more less eloquently than you, but we... She laughs and wraps an arm around me, kissing the top of my head. I would follow you anywhere, you know. Do you not feel bad about bringing us into whatever conspiracy lies in the heart of Heartcliff? It is our duty to protect those around us when we have the strength to protect those who cannot protect themselves. You and I are so on the same page. Let's go! And if we didn't do this, if you could settle down and not have to ever fight again, would you? Zaneri is quiet for a long moment. We listen to the sound of the waves against the shore. I do not know. I have given it thought. I don't even know what I would do with myself. You'd figure something out. We could together. We could run a store or something. A store? What would we sell? Gear for other adventures, give them tips for their next big quest. I would not mind that kind of life with you. Me neither. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. She gives me a soft look and cups my cheek. Come, we should not be gone long. She takes my hand and we head up to the city. Before I head to the Misty Butterfly, I take a moment to process everything Merritt told us earlier. Are we in over our heads? We're just a couple of travelers in this contained portals and demons and gods, but someone has to protect these people. Tell the city guard. No, fuck the city guard. It's up to us. I don't trust them at all. They're gonna be snitches. I trust my friends more than I trust any city guard, yeah! And it feels like it would become tangled in politics anyway, if the cathedral is so central to the city. We owe it to each other to care for one another, and we have to step up and try. Sundown is getting closer by the minute, and we all reconvene at the Misty Butterfly Inn. It's cozy and warm, a fireplace blazing in the corner. It might not be as cold as the city yet, as it is in the wilderness, but I appreciate the heat and warm my fingers up. An old halfling woman runs the front counter. A few people are sitting eating dinner, comfortable chatter around the room. There are no crowds of people drinking like in a tavern. It has a residential atmosphere. I walk up to the front counter. She's on the footstool to get extra inches of height. Oh. Hello, do you need any rooms? We rent on a daily or weekly basis with one free meal each day. That sounds perfect. We'll be renting with everything that's happened, and all we have to discover and investigate, we'll need some extra time. We'll pay for a week. She uses her pointer finger to count us. 5 gold a room for a week. How many rooms will you be needing? Okay, so there's so 1 for me and Zaneri, and then for the others. We got a good payout from Francis and Charlotte, but it still adds up. We can't live on that money forever, especially between the 4 of us. I'm half tempted to set up our bedrolls and camp outside, but I did promise everyone warm beds in the city. We should share a room to save gold. Are there rooms with multiple beds? Most are already taken. We have 1 room with 2 beds, but there are several with double beds if you're willing to share. We could take the double if you wish. We'll take a room with 2 beds and a double. She marks that down with a nod. Aura slings their arm around Alvaro. Looks like it's you and me. And we could get a double to keep warm. That's true, we could be saving a lot of money right now. Y'all just have to, like, cuddle up. I mean, Elvaril gets so cold anyway, it'll be fine. Elvaril laughs as his ears turn pink. Oh, maybe just some extra blankets instead. It's like, no, get Aura away from me. He gladly takes Aura's arm as they wave to us and head to their room. No, it's joking. Zaneri's hands rest on the small of my back as we check out our room. It's cozy with a warm hearth crackling away with the washing area off to the side. She begins to undo her armor, clanking as it hits the floor. I definitely did not bite my finger just then, don't worry about it. You take the bath first. I don't argue, eager to wash the past week travel off. We swap once I'm done, and I leave my clean clothes by the fire to dry. Zaneri found a towel and left it out for me, so I dry off. Once she's out of the bath and dry, she points around the room. I checked the place for possible hidden entry points, or if there was anything out of the place. All is clear. Good to know. I sit on the bed and it springs beneath me. I don't want to worry about anything, or think about what we've been pulled into. Then don't. Clear your mind. Worry will not serve you tonight. She gestures for me to turn around and begins to massage my back. Dude, we are living our best life. Everybody wishes they were us right now. Fuck, it feels good. I didn't even notice all the tension that had built up. Oh god, I can only imagine. I want a massage so fucking bad. Or what a week of sleeping on a rock-hard ground would do to me. Or GF, best GF. Yeah, like, it's not even... I made the right choice. I knew what the fuck I was going for. There's a lot of power behind her hands, and it hurts, but it's a good pain. Good? Have I told you you're amazing? I appreciate it when you do. I'm gonna have to run away from my mic at this rate. I turn back around, and she cups my face with both hands. They're much larger than my own, and she brushes a scarred thumb against my cheekbone. We've traveled a long way to get here. You deserve to rest. She gently cradles my neck as she leans in to kiss me. My hands settle on her waist, and I drink in every sense of her. The scent of perfume soap from the bath, her hands on my skin, the taste of her lips. She rests her forehead against mine with a contented sigh. It will be cold tonight. You should stay close. Trust me, I ain't going nowhere! Crawling into bed together, I curl up against her, her large arms wrap around me, and despite her muscles, she's comfortable to rest against. I bet! Most of all, she makes me feel safe. Can I ask you a personal question? You always can. When you talked about your home earlier, did you have someone you left behind? Someone special? Oh, well, let's hope not! Can you imagine? She ponders the question. No one's special to me. Those who once were no longer are. I appreciate the time with them, but we wanted different things and could not forge a path together. I wished for adventure and travel while they wanted to stay. That was years ago now. I did not know myself as well, and perhaps I still do not, but I know my road was not to be taken with them. I wish them well and hope they found someone who fits them better. That's a good way of putting it. I press my back against hers and close my eyes. I hope we can find the path together. I like the one we are on. I trust you lead the way. You're a better navigator. I'd be lost without you. That's actually true. I would be such a bad navigator. Oh my god. I get lost, like, in my own apartment. That's not true, but, like, I get lost very easily. She snorts up my cheesy line and holds me close. In her arms, sleep finds me quickly. When I wake, the comforting weight of a half-orc is noticeably absent. Ah! I blink my eyes, searching for her. Where are you? She's off to the side. Pookie's missing! She's off to the side, pouring from a pitcher and hands me a glass. I rub sleep from my eyes. Good morning. Here. Oh, a drink! I take the glass and quench my thirst. She pours another for herself and sits beside me in bed. Is it time for breakfast? Nearly. I do not want to wake you prematurely. She pulls the blanket around me. When she sees me shiver, oh, wow. Pookie, come back to bed. I can get the fire going. It ran low overnight. I place my hand on her arm. Just stay, please. We're just such a baby now. She nods and we sit together, enjoying the quiet morning. I appreciate all you do for me, making sure the room is safe, getting me water, and rubbing my back when it's sore. I'm very grateful. I cup her cheek. I want to take care of you, too. She places her hand over my own and leans into my touch. You do not have to. I do, because I care about you. And I want to. What can I do for you? She thinks for a moment. I would not mind a massage, too. Gladly. Except I would be horrible at it. She lays on a bed and I do my best. I might not do as well as her, but she's appreciative as I try and relieve tension from her muscles. When I'm done, she stretches, a few joints popping. Good? She kisses me on the lips and we head down for breakfast. Okay, she didn't say yes. She's like, no, that was ass, but thank you for trying. We gather at a large table and Merritt comes down the stairs. She stretches with a sleepy yawn. Bro, I'm loving Zaneri. I'm having a great time. But now that Merritt's here, I just want to talk to her. Well, you're here. That's something, I guess. Their tail flicks the edge of the table as she takes a long sip of her coffee. Zaneri brings out her complimentary breakfast. There's toast with jam, slices of orange, and hot tea and coffee. She sits and begins to wolf it down. She's so cool. You've rested. Come up with any plans during the night? Nah, I was too busy kissing my girlfriend. I didn't think of shit. Sorry. Aura nurses their coffee. They look exhausted as they twitch in their seat. Their food is untouched. Elveril shoots them a concerned look. Whatever is happening with these fiends and their portals, I think it's only going to get worse. We're in this now. Too busy kissing, yeah. Look. Sorry. Should the city know about this? Should we take it to who's in charge? The crown, royal family. They let us sigh. I tried bringing my suspicions there, but I was handedly dismissed. Rude. And the four of you? Armed strangers reporting on something dastardly within their beloved cathedral? I would not count on their help. Suspicions or accusations against the cathedral will be taken poorly. It's the heart of the city. We can't work if we don't have all the facts, Merritt. What do you know about the portals in the hells? They can't open a portal within the city limits, right? So they could have ones from the outside and then try and break through the walls and defenses? Heartcliff is magically warded for that reason. No extraplanar threats or other people teleporting in. And if it wasn't, is there a way to disable the wards? Am I sure you're not working with them and I'm giving you all the answers? We just want help. If the fiends run amok, then 100,000 lives would be at stake. I've been honest with you. Zaneri shifts in her seat, her eyes train on Merritt's hands beneath the table. They flick their wrists and I feel a presence in my mind. It feels like her digging around for information. I wince and clutch my head. Whatever you're doing to them, stop it. It's not hurting them. Satisfied, they draw back. I had to be sure. That was rude. Just warming it. No, that was rude. That was rude, Merritt. You can't just be digging in people's minds. That was rude. Apologize. You shouldn't be poking around other people's heads without permission. Perhaps, but it proved your innocence, did it not? She looks me up and down. There's a library. I can get us in. Do you have a mind for books? My study of magic didn't come up through tomes, but I'll do what's required to help. Not Iris being like, yeah, I don't read. We can learn what we are up against and give us an edge. If we know how to disable the magical wards, then we can find wherever they're working out of and we can stop them. I scratch the back of my neck. We've got another problem. We've run low on supplies and won't be able to afford the rent here. You don't happen to have a secret hoard of gold you can fund this adventure with, do you? Merritt scoffs. If I did, would I be here? I'd be in a great crown burrow, rubbing shoulders with the wealthy pricks of the city. Just a thought. Well, we've taken Mounties before, and there might be a board in town. We might not have to do that. All eyes turn to them. What do you mean? They click their tongue. They click their tongue, running a finger on the rim of their glass. Their exhaustion is apparent. Did they go somewhere last night? Oh, were they, investigating? I was taking a stroll, as you do. You've never strolled in your life. You walk way too fast. I have places to be and places I went to, and an old connection. Felt nostalgic. Thought I could kill a couple birds with one stone, catching up with old friends and securing us some work. It'll be easy stuff and good pay. And these friends are... Oh, you know, Nightshade. The Thieves Guild. Aura shushes them and glances around the inn. There are only a few others eating breakfast, and they're all engrossed in their own conversations. I'll have you know they're a well-respected organization of criminals who helps locate, liberate, and redistribute items for their clients. They've done excellent work with the Salt Wharf. The wealthy sit on their hoards, while those beneath them need a helping hand. Nightshade provides. They take a long drink, not looking at any of us. I knew of Aura's past. I should have known we'd run into it here. Despite the illegality of the matter, it sounds like we're getting tangled up by association. They offered work? A possibility. He wants to check you out first. Can't have us running to the guards at the first sign of trouble, you know? They appraise Merritt. Ship is still in the harbor. You can jump out while we're docked or go overboard. She glances between the rest of us. If you are inquiring about my moral compass, I will put it this way. I do not give a shit what you do. Very eloquently put. Aura pats them on the shoulder. Works for me. They lean back in their chair, putting on an air of confidence. And you didn't think to ask us before volunteering us to be thieves? You said it yourself, you didn't want to be responsible for all the decisions, so I made one. I found a spork, and the payout will be good. More than enough. Okay, not again. I'm making all the decisions from now on, Aura. What the fuck? We could get potions, armor, and equipment? Yeah, we could take a bounty for 50 gold and live another day. Or we do one stupid crazy thing and make enough so we don't have to think about it again. Their eyes fall right on me. I know them well enough to see the cracks in the facade. Okay, I trust your judgment. They blink. Really? Don't sound so surprised. I'll take it back. Yeah. They'll swallow and look down in their cup. It's mostly empty, but they're using it to hide their face. Oh. We'll meet him tonight. Who's this guy? Old friend. Got himself a promotion and hands out contracts. He owes me a favor from way back and is taking a chance on us. I turn to Merritt. Jumping off the boat or staying on? And drown in the metaphorical sea? This is the most excitement I've had. You know how boring it is in the cramped library. Glad we're heading there then. We will research and then meet with Aura's friend tonight. We'll split up. None of you are book people. You're better to keep an eye on the cathedral and get layout of the city. Zaneri and Aura, why don't you scout the city and see what you can find? Elvaril, you made a connection with the High Priestess. Why don't you go back there and see who's coming and going? Just be careful, okay? Marin and I will head to the library. We'll meet at the Temple District in a few hours, okay? Everyone agrees, and after we finish breakfast, we all split off. Marin and I are alone at the table. They all listen and do not question? I know their strengths. If they had a problem, they would tell me. Would they? I can feel her in my mind, but I know I'm being read all the same. We're friends. Of course they would. They rise, tail swishing behind them. Come, the library awaits. Merritt guides me through Heartcliff to an older district in town. There's an impressive building with a sign out front named Capital Athenaeum. Plenty of people are walking in and out, carrying books or chatting. Merritt nods to one of the people at the door. Follow close. Many sections are restricted to the public. And we are not the public? Not with me? Do you have special access as alumnus of the Arcane Academy? She clears her throat and shows a slip of parchment to a mage who is guarding the door. They step aside and let us through. Something like that. I give her a questioning look and they sigh. I have to pay for an annual pass. Only current students get access for free. Just follow and don't question. In a huff, they lead me through the depths of the archive. Massive bookshelves are filled to the brim, ladders rolling against the wooden floors as researchers climb to the highest shelves. Others use magic to float them down. I feel over my head and stick close to Merritt as she wanders around the place from section to section. By the end of it, my arms are piled high with books, and surprised I'm able to keep them upright and not drop them. Did you bring me here to carry your books? They put a finger under their chin. It is quite useful. I'm the one who had to find all of them, so you should be grateful for your job. I like it. God damn it, Merritt. You knew I would like her too, because they're my type. My arms don't agree as they struggle under the strain. When she picks a table, I set them all down with a grunt. It's far quieter than the entry hall, with only a few others scattered at the tables. Merritt's I did know. But you know what? I'm not playing a dumb man, so, like, I know who I'm gonna, like, save my man moments for, though. Iris is too competent for this, okay? Iris got her shit together, whereas, like, Tide or some other dumb Avery-style character would not. Merritt sits across from me and sorts out the books into wobbly piles. We're reading all of these? Scan, summarize, and find appropriate sections. She pulls out a leather-bound journal and quill pen to take notes and dives into the research. I thumb through the first few that are in front of me. It's overwhelming, but I'll tackle it one step at a time. What to focus on first? Fiends. That's gotta be way more important. I flip through several thick tomes about fiends. There's a lot to it, about the different layers of the hells and the devils that inhabit them. They are warfare-minded creatures who seek to bring every plane under their domain. I find a reference to fiends building portals in a history book about Heartcliff. During the time of the city's creation, there was a devil lord named Kaugoroth and the Raven Keeper who sought to invade our continent and claim all the souls of those living here. It was why Heartcliff had been built with the wards in place to defend themselves against such a threat. It's happening again. I flip the book over to Merritt, who scans the passages. History is cyclical. Cyclical. There you go. Cyclical. Some claim. Dangers that have arisen before do so again. History repeats itself. I continue reading, looking at how they stopped him last time. It has a lot of complicated magical text that I cannot read, but the general gist is that powerful mages and adventurers sealed him away in the hells to be bound and trapped there. And now the protective wards. I begin to research history books about Heartcliff. Many of them talk about the first king who took his land, and built the city. The Cathedral of Clairvoyance was the first thing constructed by priests of Yumdir, as they took him as the patron god of the city. When the city was founded, extraplanar threats were much more common, given they need to build the wards. There is one passage that reads, "As long as the heart of the city beats, we shall all be protected." This is as much as I can find about it, not much to go off of. There isn't a lot here. Merritt hums, tail flicking against the desk. I tried to find journals of records about the creation of the city, but those are not for any type of public use. I thought we weren't the public. On this one we are. There is no mention of how the wards were created. I shake my head, slumping back with a sigh. Placing the books down, I rub my eyes. While there were bits and pieces here and there was nothing concrete about the wards. Is it too much for a manual on how to kill fiends? Or where to find the protective wards of Heartcliff to defend them from the devil invasion? It would be too simple. Did you do this a lot at the Arcane Academy? Days spent with piles of research? They scribble something in their journal and glance up at me. Not as much. I was on my own, studying in my room. In the past year, I have been lucky to come here. There is much to learn about the world and our history. I am only just beginning. They grab a book and flip through it, passing it to me. There's a large wall of text and beautifully done illustration. Just look at this one. It speaks of strange and wonderful elven city, deep within a woods where the leaves are cold, where fae walk between the borders of the realm in hours every midnight, and the elven queen has lived 1,001 years. Isn't it incredible such a place can exist? I bet there they don't worry about how much gold you need, or the name of your family. Their city does not smell like fish and horses. They can get peace and quiet. Well, why don't you go? She blinks. It is on another continent. I could never make it. Don't make fun of me. I'm not. I'm being serious. If you're not happy here, you don't have to stay. You can find your paradise. There's plenty of There's plenty of information in these books. I'm not discounting that, but it's different to experience it yourself. My friends and I have been traveling together for some time, seeing plenty along the way. It is not so easy. I can barely afford to buy this library pass. I could not charter a ship or cart to take me away. We've just walked. You can make it as long as you start. She closes the book with a final glance at the illustration. Let's focus on the task at hand, unless you're saying that we should flee and leave the city to its fate. I'm not saying that at all, just that you have other options than you know. More options than you know. I help gather the books and set them aside. A library assistant comes by as we leave, cataloging them and cleaning them up. I've got to meet up with the others. Will you come with us to meet Aura's friend tonight? Do you want me there? I shrug. It's up to you. I don't know what we're getting ourselves into. Your knowledge of the city could be handy. We'd split the profits evenly. Could be enough to charter your ship. She thinks about that. As we leave the Athenaeum. We meet up with Zaneri and Aura a block away from the Cathedral of Clairvoyance. How did it go? Aura lets out a breezy sigh. Not great. Felt like we ran in circles all day. Good exercise. We have a good mind for the layout of the city now. Wish the wards were just out in the open. Make things a lot easier. For the fiends as well. She places a hand on my shoulder. How did it go for you? Didn't find a lot. Head hurts from all the reading. Iris is like, I hate reading. She rubs her thumb gently against my temple affectionately, soothing my brain from thinking too hard. It feels good, and I give her a grateful smile. Iris just wants to sing. She doesn't want to read. She just wants to sing and fight and not think. She just wants to enjoy life, and I love that for her. Alvariel out of the cathedral yet? Should we send a rescue party? Yeah, I'll go. You should go alone. We don't want to draw attention. The cathedral is busy, as it was yesterday. Priests stand in the corner watching. I can feel the prickle of eyes on me, but I do my best to ignore it. Who here is working for the fiends? Aren't they concerned their magic is cut off? Alvariel kneels before a shrine, a pillow beneath his knees. I take the spot next to him. Everything okay? He nods and takes a quick glance behind him. Stay here. I want to try something. You keep watch. I blend in, pretending to pray while I watch him closely. He walks up to a priest wearing a long white robe with blue trim. If I had a question I wanted answers to, may I ask you to divine it for me? With a donation to the cathedral, it may be in our power. However, not all things in the future can be seen. Oh, it's not about the future. He places a handful of coins into the donation box and holds up his charm of Thephine. Can you tell me if Thephine is truly a goddess? The priest bows his head. I don't need need to divine anything. That name does not appear in any books or scrolls on the Pantheon. A charlatan priest has filled your head with falsehoods, if they have claim to worship a goddess. Then, can you tell me what she is? The priest juts his chin. A false spirit posing as a god. He takes Elvery's hand, who stiffens at the contract. I want to do something, but I can't cause a scene. I'm sorry you've been led astray. Elveril pulls back. Thank you. He quickly leaves the cathedral. I follow after. Oh no! I don't see him right away. He didn't wait for me. I glance around, feeling my heart skip in my chest. Elveril? I turn the corner and find him around the side of the building. Letting out a sigh of relief, I jog up to him and join him. He's twirling the charm of Thephian around his arm. You okay? He nods and tucks the charm away, wiping his hands on his pants. I'm fine, just disoriented. This place is so different from what I grew up with. Let's get back with our friends, okay? We'll stick together. He falls in step behind me. The others are waiting for us back where I left them, tucked in an alleyway. So, what was going on in there? Merritt was right. They toss their hair. Of course I was. Did you not believe me? That's not it. I just wanted to see how they acted. Many refuse to give out readings, divinations, or prophecies. Others sound inauthentic in their words or give broad strokes of possible futures. Things feel strange. It's hard to describe. I tried to reach out to any presence that would make itself known to me, but it was silent. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to me? He's not my god. And what was that all about with Thelphine? Oh, that's not what's important right now. He says it with a smile, but also dismissively. A little startled at the brush off. I look at Aura. Okay, how much longer until the meeting? Midnight. We should rest up before meeting with him. We spend time at the Misty Butterfly as we wait for midnight. Marin and I fill the others about what we research, but they are content to let us handle that part. I take 2 steaming mugs of hot cider and pull Elveril aside, handing one to him. Hey, you want to talk? He takes a small sip, the cider sloshing. I don't know. They're not really oracles. If they can't see into the future, so they must be wrong. Just because she's not on some scrolls doesn't mean... He trails off. Am I doing something wrong? What do you mean? I'm not sure. I guess growing up in such a small community, my home was my entire world, but even there I felt different. I couldn't help the plants grow or talk to animals or turn into one like so many I knew could. But can't you? I can do some of those now, but only after Thelphine blessed me with magic. Our Druidess told me she was a goddess, and only she and I had her blessing. When I left, Thelphine was the only companion I had before I met all of you. Even if we don't talk much, I can't see her. I always feel safe. Maybe I just don't know what faith is. He clutches the warm mug to his chest. Sorry, rambling. You don't need to be sorry. I wanted to check up on you. You're my friend, Elveril. You can always talk to me. Goddess or not, Thephine's magic has greatly helped us. Healed a lot of my wounds. I'm grateful to her and you. He smiles and drinks that in along with his cider. We finish our drinks together. Okay, my voice is a little killing me, I'm gonna be real. And I think that we're like heading into like a big part of the second part here, so I think I'm gonna end it here. If my voice wasn't like killing me, I think I'd be in a better spot, but I'm probably gonna need more time, more like vocal preparation. But I've had so much fun, oh my gosh. Like I was like sucked in for like, well, the second we started basically. And there's a lot more stuff, but I'm so excited. I really like everybody and I like how it works. Remember to drink water. I have been drinking water as well. I think I talk a lot throughout the day too, so that doesn't help. I just talk a lot, so I gotta be better prepared for this kind of stuff, but I'll get there. Thank you so much for playing. Well, we'll be playing again on next Friday anyway, so there. Oh, I didn't mean to go back. Whoops. I meant to go to the main menu. Let's do that. Whoop. There we go. Oh, it's been wonderful. I've had such a great time. It's honestly like super, like, oh gosh. Okay, let me gather my thoughts. Okay. So, in love with everybody, really do, like, Aura's really not that much of a bitch. She's just a little sassy, you know, but Iris is honestly also very sassy. I love the story. I love that it's broken up in these little chapters, and I love meeting Merritt. She's so cool. I feel like maybe if I wasn't so just, like, set on Zaneri from, like, day one, I would have definitely pursued her as well. And I just like talking to everybody. I like Iris so far. Like, I like my own character, so that's really exciting, and challenging myself to like myself, challenging myself to create a character and to kind of stick with it, and it's been really fun. And I could see myself, I've already been thinking about like other characters I can make to romance the other companions, and that's really exciting for me. And I just having a great time. Like, this is really, really fun. And it's super like laid back in what I needed, but it doesn't mean that there's like no stakes or anything. Like, and I'm super like, I don't know what to expect, and that's really fun. Like, I feel like I can't guess what's gonna happen, but when it happens, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And I think that's because I just don't know a lot about like D&D or TTRPGs or anything. I just don't have like a lot of experience with that at all. So outside of like, I guess, Baldur's Gate. And so it's very interesting for me to like step into that and get familiar, but the world building is so much fun, and I could just like, and your dialogue eats, like there's so many moments where I'm just like laughing, and they have such a like a good dynamic between each other, and like you could like, with some of the characters, like it just feels so natural, like you know exactly what they're gonna say when they're gonna say it, and it just feels really good. It's super inspiring and awesome. Like and I'm just having a great time. I think it's great that we started with this one. I cannot believe this is your first project that you started with. That's insane. Like, the quality is insane. But I just like, it's a great time. I wish that my voice wasn't like killing me. If I was playing it on my own, I could just, you know, just scroll forever, and I don't know when I would stop, honestly. But I'm excited to get back to it on Fridays, so we'll definitely be playing it again next week and making it a weekly slot, you know, and just going through it slowly. Go rest up. I am also off tomorrow, and I have to stream in the morning, so resting my voice is also important for that. So boo, Joy's voice, who cares? You know. Now, it was good for some of the character voices though, and I'm happy with some of my voices. I gotta work on my aura voice. It's just not there quite yet. Merritt I got down. Sometimes I get my girl Zaneri down, but it just doesn't work. And then I like Alvaril's voice, and Iris's voice is just mine, so it's fine. And then all the NPCs or whatever. But I think it's really fun to like come up with voices when I do these games, to be honest. Even though it comes at a cost, but you know, it's fun. Like, it was really, really fun. And I hope that anybody who watched the stream today, if you don't want to watch me do it, you guys go download the game and play it yourselves, because it's awesome and it's super fun. And you can also create your own character that's not Iris, because Iris is kind of a mess. That's one of the things I like too. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm just like, I'm digging it so much. And I'm loving that we're starting to like dig deeper into the other characters, like backstories, and figure out more about them. And I don't know if Elvaril's like goddess is like an actual goddess or just like a spirit, but like, does it really matter? I mean, like, I don't know anything about D&D, so I'm like, is that a bad thing? I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm about to go back, and me and Gray a while ago did like a smash and pass of our characters, and I want to see who. I think I smashed everybody in this cast, like just seeing them, and I still stick with that. Like, I wanted to smash them back then, still want to smash them now. So I want to go back and see what I said, because I can't remember. Yeah, I'm a whore. Okay, sorry. That's why I love dating sims, because it's just like my taste is so wide that it's like I'll probably like everything. It's like a buffet. I get to sample, you know. But I'll stick to the main course if I gotta. But now you know them now. Yeah, and I love them. And Zaneri just makes me feel so comforted and it's safe. And like, I imagine I want to like. I think I'm going to do some more like character building for Iris, like in between now and the next stream, and then I'll like talk more about her specific character, and then I could better roleplay her going forward as well. But I've got like some good building blocks now to work off of, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to like dive even deeper. Zaneri's such a girlfriend material for real. No, for real. Wife material. We're getting married. I already know it. And then I know for Merritt, I'm definitely going to make a dumb man character for her, obviously. Hello. Like, is the sky blue, you know, or does a cat meow? Like, that's just the nature of things, okay? Aura, like, I don't know what to make of Aura. I am excited to learn more about them. And then of course, we just need somebody who's equally as sweet and would treat Elvaril very, very... Ooh, maybe somebody really tough and, like, strong. Kind of like Zaneri, but different. I don't know. I'm, like, really thinking now. I'm, like, super invested. Oh, gosh. Okay, so let me go over my stream schedule thing real fast, and then I'll call it a thing. Okay, so we got our schedule up now, which is cool. Today was Friday, Fluff Friday, did Travelers and Tales. Tomorrow, I have no idea what I'm going to be streaming. I'll probably announce it before I actually stream. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do an indie game, but I don't know what else I would do. I could just get on stream and just talk for no reason, but I'm going to try to do something. I just don't know what. It'll probably just be like a short game because I kind of have a busy day on Saturdays most days, mainly to just spend time with my family. Because like I only have so many days off, and then Sunday we'll be doing Dragon Age, and I will be defeating the Mage Tower. I will do it, I promise. It will happen. I can't push it off anymore. God. So if you guys are interested in that, come back. I'd love to see it. Mage Tower, here we come. We're gonna take it down, man. Okay, it cannot stand against us. And then my end screen. There you go. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I had a wonderful time with this. I'm so excited to play it again next week, and I definitely think it's going to be exactly what I need after the horrors of our Wonderland next week as well. So it's just going to be wonderful, wonderful, and I'm so glad that I decided to play it. And you know what? Who needs Hustle Cat when you have this? Just shit talking Hustle Cat. No. But I'm genuinely like, I'm glad that I'm able to play more of my friends' games and stuff. Like, it's such a good feeling. I feel like I get to know you guys even more when I play you guys' games, and that's probably one of the best parts about it for me. And also it's super inspiring. It like shows me like a kind of game that I can make in the future and stuff, and that's like always like fun. Like I never thought about making, but I like the way that it's structured. I like that you have little slots that are dedicated to specific companions you're pursuing, but you have like an overall plot that's probably the same regardless, and I really, really like that, and I think that's awesome. And it's actually similar to my dating sim that I am making, but you know what I mean. It's super inspiring, and I love it a lot, and I'm very appreciative of you making the game and allowing me to stream it, because I know that it could be a very vulnerable process to have your game streamed. So like I hope it was comfortable and good, and fun to listen to. Hopefully next week I'll have even more energy and less voice hurt, basically. But other than that, I think that's it for me. I'm gonna rest up for the rest of the night, and I'll be streaming tomorrow in the afternoon, so I'm very excited for that. You guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful time zone. If it's late where you are, go to fuck to sleep now. Go to sleep, or at least start laying down. Get yourself comfortable. That's very important. So, bye.